that happening?
Wait, let me just whip. It's happening.
Let's see if anything is popping up.
Hello, everyone. It is me, Robo, your favorite person in the world. That's me. Hello. And I'm here with my good friend Matthew. Say hello.
Hello, my name's Matthew.
Yes. Oh my God, there's 200 people watching. That's more people than I expected.
Wait, is it actually 200?
It's fluctuating, but it's around 200.
Yeah, mine says 192 right now. Dang, dude.
But hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I've never seen them that high before.
Yeah.
Wow. Is YouTube streaming like the future? I don't
know, but the view count's dropping, but either way, I'm definitely gonna have to start doing my gaming streams here. Anyway, so hello world, it is I, Robo, and I'm going to respond to rebuttals of the Steven Universe video.
Is it not pronounced rebutual, or is it?
No, it's rebuttal.
Okay, I've been reading them in my head incorrectly my entire life then. Oh.
What the?
Rebuttal.
Ooh boy, I got 420 through.
Oh!
I guess I'll never know, but I got 420. Oh, for super chat, she said, I love you so much. Thank you.
Sarah donated 420. Yes. Nice.
Yes. Hooray for memes. Anyway, so, I don't care too much about, like, what people think of my video. I'm literally just doing this because I'm bored.
Excuse me, I just burped.
That's fine. So, without further audio, let's get because of that fucking song. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye to the buddy. Audio to the fuckers that think that is funny.
I have no idea what this song is.
It's really stupid and edgy. Anyway, so, what I've done is I've asked for rebuttals on Twitter, Tumblr, a 4chan thread that was deleted within like a half hour, and I also just scrolled through comments on the first one. So and I also got like a single ask, and then after that, I'm also, like, depending on how much time there is, I'm also going to start taking questions about it from the... Oh, thank you, Timothy Kelting, for subscribing. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna take suggestions from the chat later, but right now, let's get on with it.
Oh! Hey, it shows up a bit later on mine. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, there's bound to be a bit of lag.
Yeah, alright.
So, this first one comes from Flippy Super on Twitter. They say, I don't think it's fair to compare Steven Universe with other TV shows, even if there are better shows than them. For example, your comparison with Motor City. Oh, thank you. Although the sequence you showed was great, that doesn't mean Steven Universe should use the same techniques for scenes that aren't like that. I do feel it's unfair to compare shows to show one of the show's faults. Those faults should be criticized on their own. I understand you didn't say Steven Universe should be like Motor City, but in my personal opinion, you shouldn't compare it to Steven Universe. Okay, so, wow, that's a lot. That's gonna get real annoying real fast, but okay.
There's so many people subscribing at the same time. Thank you to all.
So, my intention...
Another burp. Burp count goes up to 2.
My intention was never to fully compare the shows. I mostly just showed the clips from Motor City to sort of articulate that this is what it looks like when you put thought into your composition, in order to illustrate that Steven Universe doesn't have any thought put into its composition. With that being said, though, I didn't do a good enough job of articulating that, and that is completely on me. So, yeah. I think that's all I have to say about this. Do you have something to add, my good friend?
Well, I think just comparing two things within the same medium is okay. Just like, I'm not that well versed in like techniques and whatnot, but mm, honestly, I think it was pretty valid. Like,
Personally, I think it's
no,
okay to compare shows if they have similar things in common. Like, for example, if someone were to compare Rick and Morty and Futurama, that makes perfect sense.
both being like
But
sci-fi.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Steven Universe and Motor City don't have that much in common, so I do agree that it's kind of unfair to criticize the two shows fully. And even though that wasn't my intention, it did come off that way. So, that's all on me. I clearly messed up with my delivery. So, yeah.
Is there a sub sound that the people are hearing but we're not hearing?
No, they're hearing it.
Okay, because
Oh, well, you're not hearing it
yeah,
because you're screen sharing through join.me, so
yeah.
there's no sound to that.
Apparently, it's super loud.
Okay, here, let me see if I can switch off the sound for that.
Just leave it like on nothing, basically.
I cannot.
Everyone's like, we can't hear the talking over the sound of the
That's
subbing.
great. Well, it's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is perfectly fine. I'll fix this next time. I'm sorry. I'm used to streaming on Twitch where people don't subscribe as often as they do on YouTube.
This is ridiculous. Why? It's literally just one subscription after the other. Dang.
This is okay. This is fully on me, but I am gonna turn this shit off. So, Matt, I need you to keep an eye on the chat for when there's a super chat.
Alright. A super chat?
Yeah, it's basically where I turned that shit off.
Alright, all the stuff is gone.
Yeah. Okay, so it's basically where someone pays. It won't stop.
It won't stop.
Okay, fucking hold on. I don't know if I can change this in Streamlabs while it's streaming, but I'm gonna try.
Right.
Because this fucking shit, oh my god. Box.
Super chats get highlighted at the top, so don't need to keep an eye on them. Everyone is unsubscribing and subscribing. Oh my goodness.
Alert me for donations and super chats. Save settings. There.
I wonder if that'll happen in real time.
I really hope so. Alright. But if that's the case, then I can turn... That better have been a fucking donation, or I swear to God!
I don't see anything happening in the chat so far. Everyone's just dinging just by, like, doing stuff.
Okay, well, you know what? 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 Let me just go into the mixer. Problem solved. Oh, wait, no, because now... Damn it, because now OBS can't hear you. No, hold on. I can fix it. I can fix it. Just give me a second. No, shut up. Audio input capture. Yes. Audio output capture. Okay. Device. Speakers. Okay. There. Oh, well, thank you. Okay. We're good now. Wait, hold on. Properties. Speakers. Yeah, there was for a sec there, but... Oh, for God's sakes. What am I doing wrong? Properties. This is the most pro ever default. There. Say something. Damn it. No, I can fix this. I can fix this. I can fix this. What, we're good? Is it? Hold on, like, can y'all hear Matt? Because he's talking right now. Some people are saying they can't, and some people are saying that, okay, so they can't hear you, so that's fucking fantastic. I don't even fucking know. Okay, so it should be fine now. I just turned everything back to where it was before. And hopefully we won't get that stupid alert sound anymore. Ah!
Whoa! What just happened?
I accidentally backed out of the control room. Everything's fine.
안녕하세요. 아무 사람나 들 수 있어요? Hello?
What is the fucking... Ah! What's happening?
Oh, no.
No, fuck.
Oh wait, I'm back.
Yes, you're back.
I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Whoa.
Yes, this. Yes.
Oh,
put me back.
Cranial toxicity has been saying everything is a fetish at this point. They're just like, oh, subscription sound is my fetish. Oh, Matt's voice is my fetish.
Okay,
I'm very scared.
I'm back. Yes, I know the subscription noise is back. We're just gonna have to live with that shit. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
There's literally nothing I can do to fix it. I'm sorry.
Random City 327 donated $5.
Thank you, Random City 327.
Wow.
Okay.
Everything is your fetish, cranial toxicity. Tag Nav. Whoa.
Yep. The person's tweets have been on the screen for 30 fucking minutes. Well, actually, we've only been live for like 15.
Oh, it's Wonton Natty. Are they in the same? Oh.
Yeah, they're in the stream. Anyway,
Dang,
so I think we've said all that we need to say on this. Do you have anything left to say?
I think we're good.
Oh, super chat, reverse ASMR.
Reverse ASMR. Sarah, $2. Reverse yeah, you got it before I did. Yeah.
Okay, so, next one. Whoop! Now this one is a long boy, so I'm gonna have to scale this guy up real big.
Here we go. There's much... They want their shtick back?
This is from Kyle Lowe on the Twitters.
Aha.
At death.
At death. It's a flat line after the death. Do you get it? Because it's like a...
Oh,
it's a flat line.
That's cute.
Hey.
I didn't see a lot of replies that were really against the video, so I can't help but feel that this is because I criticized it heavily. Yes, you caught me, Kyle. This entire stream is all because of you. It's not like I completely forgot about your tweets and didn't even remember that you'd made them until you said this. No, this is all for you, Kyle. Don't you see, Kyle? Everything I've done, it's all been for you. Anyway, so...
Where's the...
I wonder if I can... Advanced audio properties... properties... Okay... Alright, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do to fix that, so I'm sorry, everyone.
I really hope that they can still hear me at this point.
I'm honestly surprised that oh my god, there's so many people. Anyway, so...
535.
Let's actually get into what he's saying. So he claimed the environment wasn't a factor in fights when it's involved quite a bit and is often used to end fights or add tension. Alright, so I'm just gonna do this one tweet at a time since this is really fucking long, but for the most part, I'm gonna read the whole thing before I respond. So just keep that in mind, y'all. Alright, so, when I said that environment, when I'm talking about environment in action scenes, I'm not talking about, like, I'm guessing he's, like, the Bismuth fight, for example, is mostly between Steven and Bismuth. Yes, there's lava in the floor, and oh man, we better look out for this lava, but that's it. And when I'm talking about environment used in a fight scene, I'm talking about the characters constantly interacting with the environment. Like the grocery store example I gave. They weren't just like, uh-oh, better look out for that counter, you're gonna knock some stuff over, but for the most part just normally fighting. They were like racing and punching and throwing stuff. Or in some of the other clips I showed, like the bridge fight from Kung Fu Panda. They weren't just fighting on a bridge and uh-oh, the bridge is kind of wobbly, I hope I don't fall off. They were using that bridge in ways that most people wouldn't even think if they fucking broke it and spun it around and were using it as shields and were kicking through it. Honestly, I love that fight scene just so much.
A very good scene.
Anyway, Peridot can't use the ship to find Jasper because it exploded, and the gems had Steven help them clean up the pieces. So, like, the thing is that there's a difference between exploding and vaporizing. Yes, the ship broke off into pieces, but those are still pieces that can be put back together. Especially since both Pearl and Peridot have shown themselves as very skilled engineers. That means that they could totally, if they really did collect all the pieces... Okay, so that's just our background music at this point. They totally could just slap something together. Also, there's no such thing as gem tracking technology, so the ship wouldn't help them find Jasper anyways. Except that they were able to track Peridot through her pod, so obviously gem tracking technology does exist. So...
Oh, man.
Alright.
Yeah, I need to catch up with Steven.
Corrupted gems aren't as strong as normal gems, which is why Jasper can shrug off Amethyst's whip, but another corrupted gem died from a stick. So this has never been established within the show. There's never been a point where the characters have been like, oh yes, corrupted gems weaken when they become corrupted. And maybe someone on the Crewniverse, like, tweeted about it at some point, but if you need supplementary material to understand your story, then it's a bad story.
Isn't that, like, the thing people were talking about with J.K. Rowling, and how, like, after she started, like, writing all these tidbits about the characters, like, later?
Well, that's true, but at the very least, it's not like there's stuff about Harry Potter that you had no way of understanding until J.K. Rowling wrote that stuff. It was mostly just stuff to strengthen the universe. However, even if you hadn't read her tweets and you've read the Harry Potter books without even knowing about them, you could still understand what's happening just fine.
Ah, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, say something, Matt.
Ha 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 ha!
Yes, I fixed it!
Wait, you can hear me now?
Wait. Just one more check. Okay, say something. Damn it!
하고 있습니다. 다른 사람이 다 들 수 있어요? Can they hear me?
Make it stop! Make it stop!
Is it dinging or is it echoing?
It's dinging. It's ding-a-linging.
Oh. There is always a reason to fuse.
Come on. Properties. Defaults.
Oh, they can hear me?
Oh!
Oh.
Well, yeah, because I turned the thing back up, but we could also hear the fucking...
Oh, wait, they've been able to hear me this whole time? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna have to live with that as much as I hate it. I'm sorry, everyone. Oh, wait! This is what's causing it!
Scene?
There!
Is it gone?
Oh my god, I fixed it!
Thank you. And for the record, Matt's concern over audio, my fetish. Nag chronotoxicity.
I did it, guys! I fixed it! I fixed it!
Such a good place to live in.
I fixed it! I fixed it!
We're good.
Okay, let's get back to what this stream is actually about. Okay. Several moments of inconsistent animation seems to be taken from comedic episodes, and being exaggerated or off-model is useful for comedy. Additionally, don't deny the comedic effectiveness of well-used off-model animation. See Konosuba as an example of this done to great effect. I'm not saying off-model animation isn't a problem, it's just not that big of a problem. Okay, the thing is that, like, every other animation cut in Steven Universe is off-model. So yes, I think that's a problem. I have nothing wrong with exaggerated faces for the sake of comedy or for the sake of drama. That's perfectly fine and encouraged. But you'll notice, with your magical Konosuba example, that when the characters aren't giving expressions, they're on model. Their heights are consistent. Their clothes are consistent. Everything is consistent until they need to stretch their faces for an expression. Until that point, everything is consistent. You know, like how it should be in a professional project made by professionals. And I understand if it's not a big problem to you, that's fine, but to me, it is ridiculously distracting. It is impossible to take certain scenes seriously when frickin' everyone's going off model like it's a frickin' thing to do. Alright, so, no, that's the background. No,
what?
put it back. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Why the hell didn't I lock that?
I didn't know you could even lock layers, dang. Smart.
Alright, so, and finally, things happen in Steven Universe, characters develop. We've learned more about Homeworld, and they're setting up motives and revelations for future events. Alright, hey, believe it or not, I near verbatim said that in the video. But I'm not talking about, because, like, developing characters is always a good thing. I'm cool with that. But learning about Homeworld and setting up things that are going to happen isn't something happening. It's them saying that something might happen in the future. So, setting up for something to happen is not something happening.
I found, like, so what your argument there kind of reminded me of a lot, like back in like middle school or high school,
Yeah.
a lot of people I knew wanted to write like stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And they'd set up like entire world setting systems about how abilities worked, lineages and stuff, like major plot points. But when it came down to actually like writing how things got to places, it never actually evolved beyond just that.
Yeah, because the fact of the matter is that world building is easy. You can spitball for ideas all day, all night. Now, really good world building isn't easy, but just coming up with a world and its political systems, it's not that hard. It mostly just consists of sitting around and spitballing ideas and then writing down the ones that work. Actually, hankering down and writing is entirely different. There is no comparing. Anyway, additionally, that's not to say pacing isn't a problem, just that progress is being slowly made. I disagree. They make it seem like progress is being made, but no matter what, it always resets back to everything being fine and we're having pizza at Beach City. Nothing truly changes about the status quo. Even when they add new characters, they, like, relegate them to their own little corner. Like, not even, you have to be freaking, you have to try to add new characters and not have them change anything. Like, it's ridiculous.
Dagnab cranial toxicity. Cranial toxicities are ruining the chat. I'm sorry. Right afterwards, they say, ruining the chat is my fetish.
Okay, cranial toxicity, where is he?
Somewhere.
There you are.
Cranial toxicity. So much fetish talk.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put you in the timeout box.
Wait, what does that even do?
It means that they can't post for a while, and if you keep this up, my dude, then you're out.
Damn.
Anyway, I don't want this to become like a big thing, so please just accept you got some stuff wrong and deal with it maturely. Says the person who thought I started an entire stream just for him. But, like, yeah, I did get some stuff wrong. But I didn't get any of this wrong, so...
Oh.
Also, don't you frickin' lecture me about maturity with your, like, 12 tweets about Steven Universe. Heck, you say you don't want it to be a big thing? Then why did you deliberately respond to a tweet that I said was going to have responses featured in the stream? What about that, my dude? Anyway, do you have any closing remarks, my friend?
I don't know. I'm pretty lost, honestly, because like you cover a lot of points, and every time I feel like I just kind of cover what I was gonna talk about, like right after.
All right. Next
I don't
guy.
really have much to offer in this. Oh my goodness, this one.
Yeah.
Yo.
So, this one I don't entirely get what they mean by point one, but I'm thinking that they're just talking about each individual point I brought up in the video. So, point one is probably talking about when I was talking about the composition. So, point one, subjective and is purely the choice of the director. Whether you like the director's style or not is completely dependent on the viewer. Of course it's subjective. It's a review. It's my opinions. Nothing is ever factually bad. That's just not how things work. Unless it was directed by Uwe Boll. Anyway, also there is not a singular director that's really deciding on anything. The storyboard artists basically just do whatever they want, and then Cartoon Network's like, okay, cool. Point two, subjective. How emotion is conveyed is entirely dependent on the director and the storyboard artist. Just because you don't like certain things doesn't make them objectively bad. I agree. I don't think Steven Universe is a bad show. If you watched the whole video before making this response, you'd know that I think that. Heck, I even said in the beginning of the video that Steven Universe does some things right. And that it has some really good points to it. Also, I agree that how it's conveyed is entirely dependent on the director and storyboard artists. Is it even conveyed at all in Steven Universe? Because I sure as heck ain't seeing it. Point three. Okay, this is probably when I'm talking about weight in animation. Point three. While I agree with your position on conveying feeling and timing, but again, this is entirely dependent on what you feel is enough feeling or timing. Look, it's okay to not like certain things, but you're really conflating your personal directive preferences with someone else's. It's a review. It's gonna be my opinions. Yes, I don't feel that it does right. And I'm explaining why I don't think it does right. Wow, amazing.
I think that's like the majority of what.
Point four. Touché. I do agree that utilizing the environment to the scenario's advantage helps greatly. However, you're comparing different genres with Steven Universe. Not to mention, you didn't provide an example where Steven Universe doesn't do this. Except, I provided many examples where Steven Universe doesn't do that. That whole montage where I was like, oh, they're fighting in a green room. Oh, they're fighting in a blue room. There's my examples. There it is. I found it. There they are. Also, I'm not comparing the entire piece. I'm just talking specifically about action scenes. Yes, once again, if I was comparing the entirety of the examples I used, like Kung Fu Panda or Symbionic Titan to Steven Universe, that wouldn't be fair. But I'm not. I'm just talking about fight scenes. Point 5. I've noticed you're comparing a lot of aspects of the show to action and other superhero genres. Character is the focal point of Steven Universe, not action or superpowers. Thus, the important aspects of this character counter-argument are overlooked, again, in favor of your preferences for action genres. Not to mention, Steven Universe does everything you suggested and you didn't illustrate where Steven Universe faulted with such inaccuracies. Yes, I did. You illustrated where these failures in cinematics would become apparent, but not in relation to Steven Universe. Yes, I did. So, First of all, half the examples I used weren't superhero. I think, like, I used a clip from Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure that's the only superhero thing I used. I might be wrong. I might have found, like, B-roll from another superhero show and forgotten about it. But I don't think any of my main examples, apart from Spider-Man, were superhero genres. And even if the focus of Steven Universe isn't action, they still have action scenes. So I'm talking about whether they're good or not. Because if a show's gonna have an action scene, even if it's not action, then it still deserves to be criticized for whether it's good or not. Heck, there have been comedies that do have good action scenes. The SpongeBob movie has good action scenes.
The SpongeBob movie was a masterpiece.
Toradora had an action scene, and it was really good.
Toradora was a romance, right?
Yeah, and it had an action scene, and it was really good. And as for superpowers, you have to be consistent with your characters' powers. Heck, I'm not the only person who's pointed out, like, why Pearl can't use her hollow pearls to fight and so on. Even the most dedicated fans on Tumblr and whatnot have made fun of that characters don't, like, oh my god, it was such a big meme when, during the Sardonyx arc, when Peridot was flying away, there were so many people that were like, shoot her! Like, I'm not the only person that's noticed this stuff. And Steven Universe didn't do everything I suggested. That's why I complained about it. And I did illustrate where it faulted. Anyway, Ratatouille, 6. Ratatouille was a great movie, made with an entirely different production model. Once again, not comparing the whole movie, just comparing a scene from it. And even then, I'm talking mostly about how the scene was written and choreographed, which is stuff that can be replicated in TV. I'm not going to compare animation because that's totally not fair at all. Point 7. Those examples are pretty good. It's something I think they could improve on. Your argument model for this point is well thought out. Thank you. Point 8. Even though I don't really know what you're talking about, but thank you. Point 8. Plot consistency and design consistency are two different things. 1 minute I thought we were talking about character abilities being inconsistent, to now nitpicking character models. I could agree with you if the inconsistencies happened in the same scene, not between episodes. They do happen in the same scene. I showed a few that did, but I will agree that in the general... It was mostly meant to focus on the general theme of inconsistencies, but since there is a big difference between design inconsistencies and writing inconsistencies, I probably shouldn't have lumped those in the same section, especially since it kind of muddied up my points for both. I mean, I do still think that they have the same solution, which is to switch from board-driven to script-driven, but there's definitely a better way I could have organized that, and I will completely... agree to that. Anyway,
Oh, it's so long. I thought that was... Yo!
Calm down.
I'm sorry. I'm just like,
do you have anything to add so far? You haven't really been talking.
I've been reading mostly. I've been reading through this. I'm not much of, like... I don't know, man. I don't talk much, except for when I'm with people.
Well, that's alright, man. I'm not trying to force you or anything. I'm just saying, if you have something to say, you can go ahead and speak. You don't gotta wait for permission.
Yeah, but, like, I feel like I should be adding something, but I'm not really adding anything.
That's okay, don't worry about it. It's good to stream with a friend. Point 9. I agree. Some concepts should be improved. Nonetheless, much of this was complaining about what you personally didn't like. It's a review, so of course I will. Maybe you should focus on what Steven Universe can improve on, rather than focusing on what other shows do well and simply saying Steven Universe doesn't do them. By showing that other shows do them well and that Steven Universe doesn't do them, I'm showing them a model from which they can strive toward. Therefore, I am showing them what they can improve. Point 10. I agree. Some aspects of the characters are odd. However, the characters in Steven Universe are odd. They all have weird quirks, which emulates the humanity within people. Again, this is probably closer to a personal nitpick than a corporate-level failure. Never said it was a corporate-level failure. God,
It's kind of harsh.
There's a difference between being kind of quirky and literally trying to murder Lars, or literally trapping your coworker and a small child on an island because you didn't want to spend time with Lars, or literally frickin' teasing Greg over the death of his wife. That's going a little too far. Point 11. I agree, the filler kills me, but the show is heavily plot-driven. If anything, my fear would be that Steven Universe is losing sight of that main and epic plot more so than any other points mentioned. I don't think Steven Universe is very plot-driven at all. You need to have a plot first to drive through it. Point 12. I agree. The plot is becoming increasingly Steven-centric. The same thing happened in Dragon Ball Z with Goku. It's very annoying, however it's still more productive to talk about other things Steven Universe could focus on, like the episode when Steven and company rescued their dad from the space nursery, or perhaps revisiting that place and the humans there instead of dedicating entire episodes to the adventures of Steven at Beach City. However, this could probably be completely outside the Steven Universe creator's realm of control. Marketing value is important, and Cartoon Network wants toys to sell, so if filler episodes must exist to sell toys, so be it. Your Cartoon Network gods who make the show possible have spoken. Jeez, dude, there's no need to be so frickin' uppity about it. Oh my god. Anyway, I don't think it's a marketing thing. Especially since Steven Universe was never a show made to sell toys. It took like 3 years before they actually put toys on the shelves. And even then, not all of them are come out. Where the fuck are my garnet Hulk hands? They teased those, damn it! Where are they?
Everyone wants the Garnet Hulk hands.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Anyway, so it's not completely outside the Steven Universe creator's realm of control, and really, having episodes starring other characters would be great for marketing, because you're familiarizing the audience with other characters they can sell toys of. You know that extremely marketable shows, like The Simpsons, or SpongeBob, or Avatar, have all done this, right? Steven Universe is not the most marketable show in the world, and it's not made more marketable just because we're only seeing from Steven's perspective. That's not how that works, and typically when people buy toys of a show, they want variety more than anything else. There have actually been a lot of interesting experiments on it. I remember one in particular was when, I believe it was Pepsi, hired a man to come up and help them develop the perfect Pepsi. However, they realized that making one singular Pepsi that's perfect is impossible because everyone has their own tastes. So instead, they decided to develop a variety of different Pepsis, like Diet Pepsi, Cherry Pepsi, Vanilla Pepsi, all that stuff. And they ended up doing gangbusters. And the same goes for marketing. Just look at some of the most incredibly marketable shows out there. Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, Transformers. All of these shows have huge casts of characters. Heck, oftentimes, like every episode, you meet a new one, especially with Transformers. Jesus Christ. Variety is what really sells these toys. Yes, they have the few familiar and highly marketable characters, like the main turtles, or like Optimus Prime and Megatron, but they also have a huge amount of side characters that you can also buy toys of, or read comics of, or... Oh, shit!
Oh, no!
I'm fine. Or buy toys with, or buy comics that they're in, or all that fun stuff. So, by limiting the viewpoint of your show, you're actually making it less marketable. So, yeah. There you go, my dudes.
There we go. 12 points down.
Alright, Crying Sushi, you gotta stop with this fetish stuff, come on.
It's actually, Crying Sushi is not the progenitor, but fetish talk is all over the chat.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm getting the moderator next time.
Ooh.
Anyway, overall, lots of interesting things to talk about. Many points I agree with, others not so much. I think you should do a bit of research on what it takes to actually make a show like Steven Universe. Oof, that's sass! And then look up what's causing the show to suffer. Sometimes doing the right thing means getting your show cancelled. I don't want Steven Universe to be cancelled, you dingus. Then you have to realize what's really important. Also, you sound like Sadie.
Also, you sound like Sadie.
I mean, I don't sound that much like her, but I do have the stupid nasally ass voice, so yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, you're being, like, really condescending, my dude. Like, come on. Anyway, I did do a lot of research. That's why my video was so fucking long, because I had a lot of points to make. And, like, dude, alright. Anyway, so there's that rebuttal. Do you have any closing remarks, Matt, my dude?
I've been reading the chat, and a lot of things ring true. Basically, like, they turned what could have been pretty small, like a small comment, into just like a 12-point essay.
Yeah, and I mean, there is a lot of people watching this stream, way more than I thought there'd be, so, yeah. Anyway, you know, I don't think you sound like Sadie was meant to be an insult. I think it's just, you sound like Sadie. Like, they're really just pointing out the facts, honestly.
You think at the end of it, they're just like, alright, I'm done. What else can I write? Oh yeah, you sound like Sadie. And they just clicked enter, like, right afterwards.
Probably, yeah. Anyway, then on to the next one. Talks about Steven Universe flaws, feminist noises in the background. That's right, I put this one in because I thought it was funny.
I don't understand.
Yeah, what, because I'm a girl and I made a video, it's now feminist theory. I literally I made a point of not mentioning the politics of Steven Universe, man. Anyway, I just put this thing because I thought it was funny. Also, his name is Bilbo Swaggins, which is great.
I've been waiting for someone to introduce themselves as Bilbo Swaggins.
And because of his icon, I just imagine fucking Batman typing this out. And that's great. Anyway, next up. This one's by Zignio.
Oh dear.
Honestly, when I see Motor City, I see really bad camera angles. Plus, you're just highly opinionated. You watch cartoons for it to be great and cinematic. It's a simple kids show. People don't care about all the junk you're talking about. It's the feeling you get. I guess you wouldn't understand.
Oh, this is...
Okay, so, like, if you don't like the camera angles in Motor City, that's fine. Like I said, I was mostly just doing that to illustrate that camera angles require thought, but also, like I said, I didn't do a great job of articulating that that's what I was trying to do, so... Also, yeah, I'm highly opinionated. In my video, giving my opinions. Wow, amazing. I don't really care if cartoons are great in cinema. I watched and loved the first 2 seasons of Turbo Fast, okay? You think I care about my shows being deep and cinematic? I've seen every episode of Totally Spies.
Totally Spies was amazing.
Okay? Jeez. I do not care if every show is great and cinematic. I criticize the composition in Steven Universe because it barely even existed, and that's part of an important part of conveying a story is through the composition. I don't expect Steven Universe to frickin' blow my mind or anything. I just expect there to be thought put into it. And saying that it's a kids show is honestly such a big cop out. Like,
yeah,
just because it's a kids show doesn't mean you shouldn't put effort into it.
Like, come on, man. It's not like things are just made specifically to sell. No.
Also, you say people don't care about the junk I'm talking about, but obviously you care very much about the junk I'm talking about because you put in the comment. If you didn't care, you would have just been like, oh, this is stupid. Maybe hit a dislike or something and then left. Like, you clearly care. Anyway. Yeah, So, do you have
Yeah.
anything to add, Matt?
Well, I don't know, man. Like, just hearing people say it's a simple kids show, like, I mean, no one cares about the junk you're talking about. Like, you can have interests. You don't need to just disregard everything for exactly what it is. Stare at a pencil and be like, yeah, I use that to draw. Or you can be very, very into pencils. Like, there's no shame in that. People created pencils.
Yeah.
People go to factories and work, and I don't know. This is a really bad example. But, like, come on. You can have interests that don't necessarily, like seem typical.
Yeah.
I'm not articulating this very well.
That's alright.
People made fun of me for like just really liking Smash Bros. Way back when.
Which is funny because nowadays people are seen as superior for being into Smash Bros. Or at least they think of themselves as superior.
I don't know. I just play video games.
Anyway, Hulo Mel says, it's kind of counterproductive to compare feature film, anime, and superhero cartoon storyboards to a heavily stylized 10-minute cartoon. It's not a fair comparison to make since they're totally different genres. Boarding something like Steven Universe is very different to boarding more cinematic animation like Avatar or Kung Fu Panda. Also, while you say you don't attack the artists working on the show, saying that they're not very good at their job and presenting yourself as more knowledgeable is a little conceited. It's easy to use the principles and other basic animation 101 to nitpick on select parts of a show, while a lot of the things you suggested the show to be lacking have been used in the show, and find alternative ways to do a certain shot. It's a totally different ballpark to create a show and storyboard while having to consider time constraints, peer feedback, and the balance between readability, flow, acting, and composition. For example, you had issue with the composition of It's Over, Isn't It, not bringing across what Pearl's feeling, but when you look at how the shots are done, you can tell that they chose to prioritize acting over interesting composition. They went for the most readable shots to make sure the acting reads better than if it would in a series of complicated shots, and trusted in the character acting and Dee Dee's singing to convey the emotion. When the singing ends, they switch to showing the emotions in the composition. The wide loneliness shot you said was saved for the end because that's when it sets in for her and makes more impact. While it's refreshing to see people actually talk about the technical aspects of the show as opposed to writing, I feel when analyzing something we need to consider the context and try to understand the intent and choices the creators make. Alright then. So, first of all, I agree that if I were comparing an entire feature film, an anime, and super cartoon all to it as a whole, then that wouldn't be fair. But as I've been saying, I'm just comparing scenes. I'm not saying that it has to be exactly like those scenes. I was literally just like showing what thought in an action scene looks like. That's why I was like, oh, and you'll never get fight scenes like this and this. I was showing what great use of environmental feedback looks like. I don't expect Steven Universe to be as good as those. I just want to show how cool it is when it's done well. Anyway, and yes, Steven Universe is not meant to look cinematic, but that doesn't mean it can't be boarded with thought and effort. And I said in the beginning that I was gonna be hyperbolic and that I don't actually hate the people working on the show. And I never thought that I'm more knowledgeable than them. I never tried to present myself that way, and if you got that impression, I'm really sorry, but I don't think I know more than them. Like, come on. They probably knew all about the stuff I was talking about, they just didn't do it or didn't think about it. Like, it happens. And you said that things I was saying was lacking, but then you never gave an example, so... And I like how you're saying that it's totally different to create a show and storyboard while considering time constraints, peer feedback, and the balance between readability, flow, acting, and composition. That's literally the job of every storyboard artist. No matter what it is you're storyboarding, those are all things you have to consider.
They're not separate. Yeah.
There is not a single type of animation that needs that more than the others.
That's just the whole process.
Oh yeah, Random City says, time constraints, how many hiatuses do they take? That's a good point. They sure do take a lot of hiatuses.
It's a lot of hiatuses.
As for the It's Over, It Isn't It scene, I understand the need for an emphasis on acting. However, other shows are able to do both acting and composition. Shows that have the same budget as Steven Universe, maybe even less, have been able to pull it off. And if it was really truly all about the acting, then we should have seen some fucking majestic character animation, but it really wasn't any different than the animation we get from the regular show.
The regular show?
Yes.
The regular show. You're talking about the regular show. Okay,
no, I'm not talking about regular show. I'm talking about Steven Universe.
Oh, I'm just like, wait.
I just accidentally said a silly. I made a silly. Whoopsie.
I'm just like, what's the regular show she's talking about? Like, are we still talking about Steven Universe?
Anyway, do you have anything to add?
I'm gonna say something that a lot of the teachers in my English classes told me, that my ending statement was kind of redundant, because like if you look at it again, they don't really say much. I don't know. They said like I don't remember exactly what it said, but it says like I feel like when analyzing something, we need to consider the context and try to understand the intent and the choices the creators make. Isn't that like the entirety of what you did? Like,
yep.
Why is that like a criticism if it's what you did?
I don't know. Anyway, H.C. Brown says they can literally just divide the boards to differing skill levels, but they can't because it's not script driven. More reasons why the show should be script driven. I'm gonna need a chip now.
Chips.
Got anything else, Chad?
I'm trying to think of like an example of what you said. Like, yeah, there can be shows that are in Steve's that are mostly acting focused, but also like the animation itself like helps to carry that through. And I know there are shows out there that do that, but I'm trying to think of a specific.
Like, honestly, even some of the most basic shows have done it. Like even Clarence, like, has thought put into its composition and into its character acting. A show that has no story and is literally just based on comedy has done that better. Heck, Bear Bears has done it. They have these, like, I remember this really loving montage they made about how much they like movies, and, you know, most of those shots were taken from other movies as references, but they did have some very nice dramatic shots showing how much these characters cared, and they also made the animation acting. Wow, it's almost like every single animated thing has to consider both composition and the acting. Amazing. Wow. Blowing my mind here. Anyway, next boy.
Next one.
Oh yeah, this one I put in because it was funny. Are you fucking kidding me? Steven Universe is much better at animating, imagining, and designing than you would ever be. It is certainly better at editing than putting special effects in than you would in one of your videos. I am never subscribing to you.
Was that the only reply?
Hey man, don't subscribe to me, then I won't have to deal with that fucking notification noise!
Wait.
Anyway.
Can you edit?
Huh?
Alright, so...
The thing is...
They put... Oh, wait, continue?
No, go ahead.
Well, they put I am never subscribing to you in a comment afterward when they clearly edited the original comment. So why didn't they just put I am never subscribing to you in the first portion of it?
Oh, you're right. Why didn't they just put it in the first portion when they edited it? Anyway.
Maybe it was an oversight.
Also, Steven Universe has really dull editing. That's like the one thing I didn't really touch on because most modern cartoons don't really think about that, but the editing's pretty basic. and it doesn't use special effects because it's a cartoon. They literally just draw whatever special effects they need. So, yeah. Anyway, I mostly just put it in because it's funny. Whoop! Oh, here's one from the 4chan thread.
Whoa, there's a 4chan.
Try not to be all Steven Universe is really great, etc., because it just looks like you're trying to cover your ass. Maybe just go for maybe one, okay, I like it, but it has flaws in the beginning to get your message across. You really need to stand your ground and not beat around the bush.
I thought the whole point of just saying Steven Universe is like not a show that you hate was the fact that you're using it to set up a counter argument for whatever you're going to talk about afterwards.
Well, I think they're talking about the intro to the video where I talk about stuff that's nice. The thing is that I literally only dedicated like one sentence to that before I got into the flaws, so yeah. And if you are talking about the end segment, I'm not trying to cover my ass. I'm trying to articulate the fact that I'm not hating on it. I'm not making a negative review because I hate it. I'm making a negative review because I love it, and I recognize its potential and want to see it make good on it.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know. I mean, there might have been better ways for me to do the ending, I agree, but I don't think that this is really that big of a problem. So... Next up, whoop! This is by Chris Bruno. I thought his icon was Ghost Rider, which is why it caught my eye. But it's a haunter. Or not a haunter. It's a ghastly. Yeah,
it's a ghastly.
Wait, I'm confused. If something is so complete mathematically bad, then how is it even okay to like it? Also, why is everything popular like this? Why are there so many provable things wrong, like Marvel, but still very popular? I just don't know what to like anymore. Okay, so I didn't say that Steven Universe was completely or mathematically bad, whatever that even means. But even if it was bad, it's very possible to like something even if you acknowledge that it has flaws. Like I said, I like Turbo. That movie's fucking garbage, but I love it, okay? Same with Sharknado 2. Garbage movie, but also greatest movie. Hooray! Even things that aren't necessarily guilty pleasures, like Tron Legacy, I still feel like there's nothing wrong with liking that. Because even though the story is really fucking dumb, the aesthetics and the music are just so good. Oh my god. And the action scenes and the composition. Oh, it's so nice. I wish the story wasn't fucking garbage.
Yo, dude, when I was growing up, my parents would buy just random movies on VHS, and I wouldn't really have a say in what they bought. So they would buy like a strange selection. And for some reason, I would keep watching Small Soldiers, like, over and over again.
Small Soldiers?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's basically just like a glorified toy commercial that runs for 2.5 hours.
That's great.
It's so good.
Anyway, so not all of Marvel movies are bad, first of all, and second of all, even though their more recent movies are getting to be pretty garbage, there's nothing wrong with people liking a thing, even if you don't like it. Like, calm the fuck down, man. Just like whatever makes you happy.
I liked Ant-Man. Ant-Man was my favorite Marvel movie, and people might say it's not even a very good movie.
More than Iron Man?
Yeah, actually, I don't know. I just liked Ant-Man a lot.
Well, actually, with that.
The first Iron Man was really I like the first Iron Man a lot, but I think it's just because in more recent memory, Ant-Man just is in my head a bit more. That's probably why.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, you can like whatever the fuck you want. I mean, you can even dislike something even if you know it's good. I don't really like Lord of the Rings. They're fantastical, very well-made, and revolutionary films, but I don't really like watching them. They're really slow and boring.
Yo.
They're fantastic, but they're really slow and boring.
Oh, man, they talk about Neo Yokio in the comments. They're very on topic right now.
Oh,
Just speaking of shows that might not necessarily be good, but are amazing anyway.
Well, that's an example. But yeah, so just like whatever the fuck you want, man. Who cares? Whoop! PG 5000. I'm an aspiring animator, so I would just love if somebody could answer this. What are better ways to show a shot besides shot reverse shot? As in, if you're writing a scene, what are some other ways of making dialogue or fight scenes interesting? That's right, this one isn't someone pointing out a flaw, but it is a question that I felt like would be interesting to answer.
This is a very fun question.
Yeah,
Yes.
although they asked two different questions, really. Better ways to show a shot besides shot reverse shot is very, very dependent on what exactly you're trying to convey. So that's the first thing that you really need to think about. What am I trying to communicate? For example, one of my favorite shots in any movie is a shot from the first Back to the Future movie where, Marty sees Biff picking on his dad, and they're in the 50s right now, and Marty's like, hey, leave him alone. And then there's this over-the-shoulder shot of Biff standing up and Marty getting smaller. And even though I mostly like that shot just because it's really funny to imagine, like, the cameraman leaning over Biff while Marty has to, like, carefully crouch down because that must have been how they shot that. It's also a really great way of conveying the difference in power between the characters, especially since they're not animated, so you can't like read the designs right away. It really shows like, wow, Marty is literally in over his head, as in Biff is over his head.
His
he's
head.
so much taller, he's gonna punch him now. Wow.
In art history, they called that in like classical paintings and like monument stuff. They called it hierarchy of scale.
Ooh.
Basically, seeing like power is represented through size a lot of the.
It is.
Yeah, and sometimes like if you want to subvert that a little bit and show how someone might be rising to power, show a very large thing, and then show a smaller thing, but they're standing on top of a cliff or something, just kind of like looking down upon them, seeing how they've risen to their level or even higher. It's just, classical painting.
And that's just an example. So, the idea is that they wanted to convey in this scene that Biff is extremely powerful and Marty just realized he fucked up. So they designed that over-the-shoulder shot in order to convey that emotion. So what you should do is study camera angles. See what each kind of camera angle means. Study framing, which is also incredibly important. And that will really help you. As for the second question, so this is an interesting one because they're talking about both writing dialogue and making the scenes interesting. So for this, you're probably going to want to, if your movie's not board driven, then you're going to want to like hop between the script and the storyboards because it's really hard to write something in a script exactly how you're seeing it in your mind. So
keep going.
It's good to bounce between that and storyboards, and that way you could make the dialogue like really feel, I don't know, natural in their situation. And on top of that, once again, it all depends on what you're trying to convey. Like, if they're running away from something, then think of something that would make a chase scene cool. Like maybe they piss off the cops and oh no, now we gotta run from the cops, but oh man, their mom's home and she's pissed off because they didn't do the dishes. Uh-oh, now I gotta get home without mom seeing me, but I gotta get away from the cops and from my chaser, but I gotta get the magic gem too. No boy, where's the magic gem? Oh no,
the magic gem! The mom has it!
Yeah. That sort of thing, basically compacting it so it becomes more and more chaotic and oh god, what do I do? Or if it's like a fight scene between two people just demonstrating their power, then think, okay, how do I want to do this? Like, is it a very nice civilized duel where they bow and then they fight? Or is it like two people that are pissed off and they're mashing the shit out of each other and oh man, I'm gonna grab this bottle and I'm gonna smash it over your head and oh man, oh boy, it's the chair, hit him with the chair!
Hit him with the chair!
Once again,
Like,
it's very context heavy. You really need to consider what it is you're doing in the scene and how you want to convey it. And
like
it also depends a lot on tone.
what else is there?
You're saying?
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, okay. So, like, if you're specifically talking about fight scenes
Mm-hmm.
and communicating just through a fight scene, what might necessarily be going on in like the two people's heads or even multiple people,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just the dictating the flow of and choreographing just kind of how the fight scene plays out is just a really good way to communicate without even writing dialogue in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you watch a bunch of like Jackie Chan movies, he's like a master of choreographing this kind of thing because he can show just like overwhelming dominance and a slow rise to meet that and eventually just overtaking it just through like a single 5 minute fight scene basically. And it mostly involves like Jackie just kind of getting crafty and whatnot, and the other person just being super good at whatever they're doing. But that's just another way to communicate. Shows character at that. One person's grounded in strength, while Jackie's more grounded in flexibility, and using that flexibility, they just kind of come it. That's just another show of dialogue during a fight scene without necessarily using it.
Yeah, that's a really good example.
I watch a lot of action movies.
Yeah.
Fun.
Uh,
Good job.
I'm sorry, I have a burping problem.
Oh
Anyway.
Man, I just saw. Oh, sorry.
No, what did you just see?
When you opened up Discord, I just saw a character from Small Soldiers.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're screen sharing. I forgot about that.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Anyway, image slideshow next. Whoop. Maybe try to criticize the show without throwing around that the creators are lazy and don't put in effort. Just because they made creative choices you don't like doesn't mean you have to be a bitch about it personally. That's the biggest problem with your video. You act like the creators of Steven Universe are trying to make Motor City and failing instead of just accepting that they made a show that's not to your specific taste. I mentioned Motor City like once, you guys. Calm down. Oh, well, I guess I used an example of it again, but even then, that wasn't like, oh man, look at how great Motor City is. I literally just used it because I knew that I could get a clip of Motor City without sound design and then splice in the audio from the real clip. So, oh man, aren't I cool? Now I can show the clip without the sound design and don't I look pro? Like, that's literally the only reason I used Motor City in that second time. Anyway, yes, I accused them of not being putting in effort, but it's not because of their specific creative choices. It's because they're not very good at the creative choices they made. Like their choice to make Steven Universe a character-driven show, but then the characters are super inconsistent. Or the choice that they made to do drama, but they clearly have no idea how to shoot drama. So they just shoot it like a comedy, because that's all they really know how to do. Or how they try to do a plot, but have no fucking clue what they're doing. So, yeah. Also, opinionated video. I'm gonna talk about my opinions. I don't really care if they make a show like Motor City. There are other shows in the world that I like that aren't Motor City and are nothing like it. Like, Daria is another one of my favorite shows. It's nearly the polar opposite of Motor City. Like, I don't care if something's not to my taste. If it does what it does and does it well, then that's fine. Like I said, Lord of the Rings isn't to my taste, but I will acknowledge that it's really good at what it does. I just don't personally like it. Like, I don't know, man. You got anything to say, Matt?
Let me think. No, not for this one.
Okay. Next one. Whoop! The thing that annoyed me the most about this video was the no consistency part. Different people animate the parts. That's why they're different. That's why I got so mad at this. It even shows the credits that different people animate the scenes. I thought it was wrong that she was blaming this as one person animating wrong. Ugh! Ugh!
Oh.
Literally every single animated thing, every show, every movie, every music video have all been animated by different people. By multiple people working on... Wait, you know what happens when one person makes an animated movie? You get fucking Romeo and Juliet sealed with a kiss, and that movie is butt garbage.
Oh.
I'm not talking about one person animating it wrong. I was addressing the animators as a group. Because they all fucked up. Every last one of them. Except for the guest animator on Mindful Education. He did a real good job, but I think I pointed that out. You got anything to say, Matt?
Well, because if you watch other, like, animated shows, even if other people are working on them, like, they still have a coherency between the scenes.
Yeah, they do. Because it's their job.
Oh. Why?
Anyway, next up. Whoop!
Guess they misunderstood.
You need to screen in your mic better.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
What does that mean?
It means that there were some times when my mic was popping.
Ah. Okay.
And yeah, I do need to do that. That's not... I'm not gonna argue with that. They're right.
Audio is hard, my friend.
So easy to criticize than to create. Why don't you go and get a job in animation? Then after some of your work gets out there, go and criticize yourself on what you could have done better. And by the way, before any haters go jumping down my throat about being a hater, I'm not hating on the video, but I do hate when people talk they know everything and can do a better job, but actually do nothing but talk. Peace.
Oh, wait, let me read this again.
Dude, you use fucking punctuation! Anyway, so I'm gonna address this like piece by piece. So first off, so easy to criticize than to create. Why don't you go and get a job in animation? I'm working on it. Also, it is kind of easy to criticize if you're bad at it, but when you really got something to say, then you gotta know your shit. Otherwise, you'll be fucking Mr. Renner. I don't like this thing because I don't like this thing. Oh, BoJack Horseman does this thing and it's great, and I'm gonna tell everyone to watch the show while giving them a massive spoiler. Wowee. Oh, I'm gonna literally blame crew members, like point out their names specifically and say that they should be fired because they did a thing I don't like. Wow, so pro. Like, it's not easy to be a critic if you're trying to be a good critic. Now then, after some of your work gets out there, go and criticize yourself on what you could have done better. I do that every minute of every day, my dude. I'm doing it right now.
I feel like that's what the animators do by themselves anyway, right? They're constant.
Yeah. And by the way, before any haters go jumping down my throat about being a hater, I'm not hating on the video, but I do hate when people talk like they know everything and can do a better job, but actually do nothing but talk. Peace. Oh, kind of like how you're doing nothing but talking.
Ooh.
Anyway, whoop. Did she misspell environment on purpose, or is she just retarded? Also, just noticed you don't mention Amethyst versus Steven fight scene. Credit where credit is due, I think. And also, good job copying Jello Apocalypse.
Jello Apocalypse?
I didn't misspell environment on purpose. I'm just really shitty at grammar, so they got me there.
Good job.
I didn't mention the Amethyst versus Steven fight scene because it's not good. Also, like, I think they literally forgot to finish their sentence because they're like, credit where credit is due, I think. And then they just stop.
Wait, what's this bit about copying Jello Apocalypse?
Because Jello Apocalypse also made the point that sometimes the characters do things that are kind of messed up, and as you know, if I happen to make the same point as another YouTuber, I'm literally copying them and somehow managed to stretch their 5-minute video into a 40-minute rant. Wow.
Oh.
Anyway, next up. Whoop! Ko is only good for waifu, husbando threads, and pull bait, but fuck it, I'll play devil's advocate. Here is a rebuttal which I'm going to call the Rick and Morty rebuttal. Have you considered that a large part of the disappointment you feel from the show is due to preconceived expectations you give it, rather than what the artist actually intended? Rebecca Sugar herself many times have said the show was never meant to have a central villain or be plot-heavy. From the start, she said its main focus was on Steven and his interaction with the gems, no more or less. Do you think it's fair to complain over promises which the writers never even promised? Except, they did make these promises! They're constantly implying, through the writing and through the directing, and through things getting revealed, that shit's gonna happen. And then, it doesn't happen. Also, I'm not saying that the show, messed up and meant to have a villain but then didn't. I know they never intended to have a villain and that it was an artistic decision, but it was a bad artistic decision. Because if you want a plot-driven show, you kinda need an opposing force to create tension. Otherwise, your show's super meandering and boring and there's no tension, and oh god, why am I still watching this fucking show? So, yeah, it would be kind of unfair to complain over promises that the writers never promised, but they did promise that stuff was gonna happen, and it didn't.
I don't know. I feel like if it was more like a show that didn't have a central villain, it'd be kind of plot heavy and just like character interaction.
Even shows with no plot have antagonists. SpongeBob has antagonists.
That is
The
true.
Simpsons has antagonists.
I don't
Clarence has antagonists. Wow, it's almost like they know that they need conflict in an episode that isn't just based around some stupid misunderstanding or a character accidentally being mean, but I'm sorry, okay, everything's great, we're all friends now. Like, the fact of the matter is that every single character in Steven Universe loves Steven, and if they don't, then they're a villain, and we need to dislike them, and they're barely in the show to begin with. Even Lars, who is portrayed to not like Steven, obviously does secretly like Steven. Like, that's part of his whole character. So, if they had characters that maybe didn't agree with what the gems were doing, if they had characters that didn't love Steven pretty much unconditionally, like all the other characters do, then that would be good. Then we'd have opposing forces to create tension in episodes, but we don't. Everyone's happy, and everyone's friends, and something happened, and maybe they're not friends, but no, we got it all sorted. Okay, we're all friends again. Hooray. That's what happened in every episode of Steven Universe, and every arc.
Oh.
Do you have anything to add, Matt?
Let me think. Well, I was gonna say before, with all the things they're talking about, they said Rebecca Sugar was like trying to accomplish. It sounds a lot like a slice, but Steven Universe is very much not a slice of life show, I feel.
No, it's not. They're trying to have a plot.
Ooh, what?
Anyway, next one. Whoop! Comedy doesn't necessarily have to come at the cost of sincerity. It's pretty clear you weren't entirely in your comfort zone while calling out the Cruniverse in that hyperbolic manner, and parts of the message you put at the end really sealed it. There are ways you can be funny without being mean or saying stuff you don't believe or aren't comfortable saying, and your comedy overall will benefit from exploring those avenues. Might I suggest trying some more visual gags? It doesn't have to be game theory or explanation point levels, but those two channels can give you some ideas in that area. What else? Saying things in an atypical and or complicated manner might be something that'd work for you, a la Yahtzee Croshaw. I've heard of that guy, but I don't think I've watched his videos. It might provide your comedy that element of a urinating dog, or as the common folks say, give it a leg up. That's amazing. That's good. I love that. I love that. I love that. Oh my god, I'm going to use that somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm going to use that somewhere. That's so good. That's so good. That's so good. Anyway, I kind of agree with this person. I know that comedy doesn't always have to be mean-spirited. I'm not very good at that kind, but I want to get better, and I'm working at it, but I'm not quite there yet. mean to, like, I don't hate the people who work on the show. I just think that they're really incompetent. Either that or they're lazy. And so, yes, I was kind of harsh, but it's because no one else has really levied that much criticism at them. I mean, people are starting to now, and that's good. But when I started writing this video, no one was really doing it. People were just like, oh, well, whatever. So, like, I was being harsh to sort of get their attention if they end up watching this. Like, hey, fuck boys, do your goddamn job.
Oh. I'm reading the chat currently, and apparently Yahtzee Croshaw is the 0 punctuation.
Oh, okay, I've heard of him. Anyway, so, yeah, I admit I was maybe a little too mean to the crew, but I really wanted to articulate that they're doing a bad job. Anyway, but for the most part, this guy's right, and I do need to get better at doing humor that isn't necessarily mean-spirited. So that's something that I am working on.
What? Hello, Jackamations. What did you...
Who's that?
I don't know. They're just like, Matt, hello. Matt, notice me. And I don't.
Matt, you have a fan.
I don't know why. I haven't done much at all.
Also, their icon is Joseph Joestar, so already fucking 100 points, A+, good taste in JoJo's.
That's
I love
good
you.
JoJo right there.
I love you, Lord Scribe. You're great.
They keep saying I should actually talk more.
Anyway,
I don't know. I feel like you cover the majority of the things that I'm gonna say also. So.
Well, if you have a thing to say, go ahead and say it. Anyway, Jacob Camerupt, currently in its 4th season. Triggered. It's on its 5th season. Yeah, when I wrote it, it was on its 4th season, but really, I could have gone back and recorded myself saying 5th season and put it in there. Like, that's on me. I fucked up. Like, I gotta be willing to redub like that. It really wouldn't have been hard to fix, and that was super unprofessional of me by keeping that in there. And I completely empathize with people complaining that I said it was in its 4th season when it's on its 5th season. So, yeah.
Whoa. Star Wars.
Evan Dugas. I'm sorry, but with the exceptions of Star Wars, Avatar, and maybe Ruby, most cartoons suck compared to anime in all ways. Anime in general. There are lots of shitty anime, but as a rule, most cartoons have shitty background art. What? But you know what? Anime is not normally better than most cartoons. What? Since story is what counts the most. Yes, amazing art can make up for a shitty story, but there's a reason shows like Steven Universe have such a massive fan base. Since lots of anime have a shit story. Wait, so do you like anime more? Like, it pisses me off. For every good anime with a stunning story, there's 5 visual novels with no story. What are you... What?
I don't understand.
I put this in here because this comment is a fucking puzzle, and I need your help to figure it out, Matt.
Okay.
I need your help.
I think...
Help me.
I think, to start off, they might have been agreeing with saying that, with the exception of Star Wars Avatar, maybe most cartoons are bad. But then they go off on a tangent.
Bullshit, because they're not, and you clearly have not seen many cartoons and have shit taste because Ruby is terrible.
And then they go on like a portion where they're like talking about how they don't really hold in as high of a regard as how they may seem, by giving a bit of like their own opinion on what anime is like.
Maybe like 2 different people were writing this comment. And they were like debating over it. Like this person's like, oh well, I think oh my god, dude, no, it makes a lot of sense if you consider that 2 different people are talking to each other. Like, I'm sorry, but with the exceptions of Star Wars, Avatar, maybe Ruby, most cartoons suck compared to anime in all ways, anime in general. And then the second person is saying, there's lots of shitty anime, but as a rule, most cartoons have shitty background art. But you know what? Anime is not normally better since most cartoons, since story is what counts the most. And then the other person is saying, yes, amazing art can make up for a shitty story, but there's a reason shows like Steven Universe have such a massive fan base.
It's a conversation!
And then person 2 says, since lots of anime have a shit story. Like, it pisses me off for every good anime with a stunning story, there's 5 visual novels with no story, generic characters, and no main point. Oh my god, we figured it out! It's 2 people having a conversation!
Dude, do you think it might have been like, they might have accidentally said, like, Google so-and-so and what, and then they started talking about it, and then Google Auto wrote the conversation as the comment?
Oh my god.
Do you think that might have actually happened?
Oh my god, that could have happened. That could have been what this is, because those are the only explanations for this.
Think about it. 2 people coherently talking about the video they just watched, right?
Yeah,
and then
Google just heard them and like recorded it. Like they thought they were doing speech to text, and then it commented without them realizing it.
Dang, man.
That's it. We've done it. We've solved the puzzle. Good work,
We've
everyone.
broken the code.
Good work, everybody. We did it. We solved the puzzle. Anyway.
Wow.
It's been a while since I had watched that, and I can't do it again right now. But for the most part, I can only think of one nitpick I had. The thesis, as I remembered it, seemed to be that because of all the covered flaws, Steven Universe seems to be headed for a crash. But a lot of those covered flaws seem to be basically constant factors that don't affect the trajectory of the show, like scene composition or fight choreography. And while those can be subpar as demonstrated, they don't really seem like degenerative problems, much less terminal ones. Those sorts of fatal satisfaction-killing flaws that take a while to arise, I would think, would be almost exclusively on the story plot characters side of things, because that has to be dynamic, whereas the visual art quality side of things, in theory, ought to be pretty static. Of course, in this case, it kinda isn't, as shown by how the character design seemed to have been set adrift on a sea of storyboarders' own artistic quirks. But still, I'm not convinced if it's a big enough problem to be a major risk factor for the show hitting a brick wall. If I had to give my own not remotely educated enough guess about what it would really leave people the maddest about the show once it's over, I'd say the inevitable big twist that the writers no doubt have up their sleeve for the very end and are probably super proud of isn't going to land nearly as clearly as they would like, and would probably sour a huge fraction of the fan base of the show, because that seems to be the intersection of how willing the creators are to risk and how well they're able to pull them off. But you probably want critiques with actual evidence behind them, so I got nothing more for you. Sorry.
Oh, dear.
Dude. You don't have to be so wordy, my dude. It's fucking 4chan. You don't have to assert your smartness. Anyway, I think the gist of what they're saying is that I messed up when presenting my thesis, because I said that because of certain flaws, it would be hitting a brick road. But since a lot of my flaws were technical and not story-based, they feel that it doesn't really work. Now, I have to disagree with that. I think that animation that deteriorates over time is enough to tick people off. Like, a lot of people were upset with Korra Season 2 because of how bad the animation got. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was worse than it was in the first season, so a lot of people were ticked off. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about episodes of Gurren Lagann that were super bad, and they wouldn't leave the creators alone about it. Things like that. And I did criticize things in the story and the plot, but those don't really take as much time to analyze as the animation does, since it's pretty easy to point out the flaws in a story, but analytically going down and like dissecting the animation and explaining in a very technical fashion what it does wrong is not easy. It'd basically be the same as explaining why a story element in a movie wasn't bad. You can just be like, oh, I thought the characters acted stupid. But then explaining why a camera shot would require you to first explain how the shot was done, how the shot should be done, and where the people filming it screwed up, which requires a technical knowledge of film and the ability to explain it well, which takes a very long time. But I think that the things that I criticize do help show that the show is going toward a brick wall, but if you disagree with that front, that's fine.
Well, how do you piece these together so quick? I have to read this over at least twice to get like an understanding of what's been happening.
I don't know. I guess just, I don't know, lots of time writing, I guess. I don't know.
Mm. Cool.
Do you have anything you want to say?
Let's see. Uh, no, I don't know. Oh, don't bring me on again. It's gonna destroy the stream.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Really, I just want to ask, if it was more intended for a feel-good episodic cartoon, would you like it better? It's clearly not because Steven Universe has tons of fucking destroy the world plot lines and tries deep and dark, but on the basis of slice of life, would you call it good? So I would say that a lot of my frustrations with the show do come from the story, but its technical aspects are still things that get on my nerves. I feel like, though, basically trying for slice of life Steven Universe is basically making OKKO, which I think is a very cute but flawed show. So, I don't think I'd like Steven Universe more if it was slice of life, but it would definitely be more comprehensible. What do you think, Matt?
I think we touched upon this a bit earlier, didn't
We talked about it a little, but you
we?
were
Yeah.
talking about how it feels like they're intending to be a slice of life, but they're trying for a story. But, like,
Um,
what if it was trying to be slice of life? Do you think it would be better, or do you think it would be worse?
Let me think. If it was kind of slice of life, I think it would be a bit lacking in the like slice of life aspect because a lot of their adventures aren't like detailing and juxtaposing on like every day because majority of slice of life is like okay they're in the same setting every single episode or they're in the same setting every single chapter, right? And then just you see what they do in the exact same setting, but Steven Universe takes it to like ocean, space, and planets.
Well, there have been slice of life shows that travel around different settings.
Really?
Yeah.
Um, what comes to mind?
I thought of
I'm not.
Kino's Journey, but that doesn't sound right at all.
Hmm, let me see. Does School Days
Postcards from
count?
Buster.
Postcards from Buster? What would you call the adventure?
It
Uh,
counts. It counts.
would you call Would you call Bionicle movie slice of life?
No.
Okay. I don't know. Because I feel like a lot of Bionicle movies are about establishing like this new world and setting and experimenting with that. But,
Well, to be fair, I haven't seen a Bionicle movie in years, so I'll just have to take your word for it.
okay. Uh,
But I'm sure anyone who watches more anime than us, like a lot of people are screaming Mushishi.
Mushishi is slice of life?
I
Is
don't know.
Mushishi actually slice of life?
I don't know. I've never watched Mushishi.
I've watched like 3 episodes and
I don't know. I'm sure there's an anime somewhere that does it. Like,
man.
oh no, SpongeBob. There you
SpongeBob
go.
is slice of life. SpongeBob is slice of life.
There you go.
Hey,
I did it.
yo.
Oh, Voice Noise says American Dad's on and I'm out of beer. Sad face. That is a tragedy. A true Greek tragedy. Also, thanks for the $10.
I mean, okay, I guess back to the original question. I'd say it's just decent if it was slice of like
Yeah, it wouldn't be fantastic, but it would be a decent enough show.
decent.
Yeah. But that's just prediction. I mean, I don't know for a fact.
It's like labeling Star Wars as drama.
Yeah.
I mean, you guess you could say it's drama.
Well, they're not saying, like, they're saying, what if it was only a slice of life? Would it be better? I think that I'd like it the same amount, but what about you?
I mean, yeah, I don't think my opinion would change that much. Just be more confused.
Oh, Loud House, that's slice of life. Yeah. They go to different places in Loud House.
Is Loud House the one where everything looks like it was drawn like a sketchbook?
Yeah.
I like that. It's nice stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the show's a little too saccharine for me, but it's a good show. It's just not really my style. See,
Well.
once again, I can appreciate that something does something well. That doesn't mean I have to love it. Anyway, so, ready to move on?
I guess.
Whoop! If you love the show, stop yelling and stop making me feel bad about my favorite show. Well, I just got my childhood ruined. Thanks so much. Sarcasm. I just thought this was funny.
The epic cartoon lore.
Like, how can it be your childhood if it's airing right now? Oh, well, they probably are a child, actually. Well, I'm sorry for ruining your childhood, but if this is the worst thing that's happening to you as a child, then you're living a better life than I am.
Oh.
Anyway, whoop!
Next.
9. Roblox and more. I have something to say about the fight scenes. Just because they don't interact with the items around them doesn't make it bad. You're focusing on the bad things. The background music is just astonishing. The movements are so delicate and nice. The color and the art style is so pleasing. You're missing all that. You're taking all this information and shoving it into people's faces so they like it because it's your content, and the reason why they don't use obvious attacks is because 1, the fight will either go too fast and will make it boring, and 2, the plot won't advance. The statement or example you used in Kindergarten Kid was really bad. That wasn't a fight, that was a way to keep Peridot away so Garnet and Steven could venture around there for advance the episode. On top of all that, great job analyzing the problems about the show and the flaws. Peace. Hey. That's the noise I think that face is making. It's like, hey. Okay, so I didn't say that the fight scenes were bad specifically because they didn't interact with the environment. That was just one of the reasons why they're bad. And yeah, I'm focusing on the bad things. It's kind of the point of the video. I did say the background music was nice. I did say the color was pretty. You say I'm missing that. I literally said that at the very beginning of the video. I'm not exactly taking the information and shoving it into people's faces. It's not like I'm running around with the video playing on my phone like fucking Patrick. Look at it! Look at it! I want you all to look at it! Like, if you don't want to watch the video, that's fine, man. Go for it. I'm not gonna force you to watch it.
Just click off, basically.
Like honestly, I mean, I don't like the whole, if you don't like, don't watch thing, but...
Burla. I don't remember. She went somewhere rooted. Sorry, my dad was talking to me about stuff.
That's alright. Yeah. But anyway, I don't normally like the whole, if you don't like it, don't watch it argument, because obviously if you watch something, you won't know you don't like it until you're done watching it, and you might think that it could get better, so you'd watch the rest. But I am gonna say that don't act like I'm shoving this in people's faces when you're completely and entirely free to stop watching it whenever you want. Anyway, so why they don't use obvious attacks? Well, then they need to provide a reason as to why they can't use it. Oh, wait. Someone did super chat. Your amount and message will be public. From the secret person. Whoops.
That's not the right one. Oh.
I think they forgot to type it. Uh-oh.
I think it's... they just left it blank, and the text that tells you how it...
Oh, man, I'm so sorry, dude.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, well.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, so... It doesn't matter if it would be boring if they can't use the normal attacks, then yeah, good. But you still have to give a reason as to why they can't. It needs to make logical sense. Things can't just happen for the sake of the story. Otherwise, people will not enjoy it. Yeah, I know that Pearl and Amethyst needed to go away when chasing Peridot, but they didn't have to make it so easy for fans to be like, hey, why can't Pearl just fucking shoot her? Like, I don't know, maybe they heard Peridot in the distance. They were like, oh, we're gonna find you, you piece of shit! Like, maybe that's what happened. Like, maybe instead of flying away and escaping, she got hit so hard that she was flying away and Pearl and Amethyst were chasing her. That would make sense, because Pearl wouldn't want to shoot her while she's flying through the air from impact. She wouldn't want to shatter her. That would make a lot more sense. But instead, they had Peridot flying away freaking slow enough for her to do an evil laugh. And not once does Pearl think, hey, I should shoot her. Oh, the church gave me $10 just to show a smiling laughing emoji. Thank you.
They're one-upping each other with a single cent donation.
Wow, it's minimalism. Yeah, so... Anyway, so yeah, things can't just happen for the sake of the story. It needs to make logical sense. What do you have to say, Matt?
That wasn't a fight. That was just a way to keep Paramount away so Gardner and Keith Stephen could venture out, and therefore the episode. It was still shown as a fight scene. Like that's how the trade went down. Like you can't just
they were
say that it wasn't a fight
Peridot.
if that's the reason. Like that's the mode that they used to get her from being away. That's like,
yeah.
I don't know. I can't. I'm dying over here, man.
Are you okay? What's going on?
Nah, it's nothing. Job hunt. Lost a lot of money.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Cinemark's hiring ushers. I just got hired there.
Who?
The Cinemark, the theater.
Oh, okay. We don't need to talk about this right now.
I know, I'm just saying it. Anyway, whoop! The Super Mario Bros. Super Show had better animation than Powerpuff Girls 2016, and that came out in the 80s. I agree! Why is this on my Steven Universe video?
I don't know.
Voice Noise says, I'm a man-child with a disposable income. Someone saved my wallet.
Tagnab, it's 1 more cent higher than the previous donation.
Oh my god, are they seriously doing a fucking one-up game?
Yo.
Guys, no!
I mean, it's good for you, but man, like, you don't gotta just keep donating, like, cent more.
Anyway, so, whoop! Remember, when animating a fight scene, wreck yourself before you wreck yourself. This is amazing, and I love it, and I'm probably gonna steal it someday, so now y'all know where it came from. I love it. I love it. It's good. It's so good. Why didn't I think of it? It's so good. And, whoop! Oh, I think this is the last one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I agree with your analysis of the animation and composition, but it seems like you focus on that over the story at points. Ignoring bad runs, like the opening of Season 4, do you think the story can make up for bad or lazy animation? I did focus on the story a lot, but I do agree that if the story gets its shit together, then, the bad animation will still be a flaw, but I won't mind it as much. Because, at the very least, I'm enjoying a story. As long as it's not like fucking 12-ounce mouse. Like, there's a lot that I can tolerate if the story's good.
What is 12-ounce mouse?
Ooh, you don't know what 12-ounce mouse is? Here, says for screen sharing. I'll show you right now.
Okay.
12-ounce mouse.
12-ounce mouse?
This is it. This is 12-ounce mouse. This is a show that aired.
World? What? It aired?
Yeah, a guy literally went up to Adult Swim execs and was like, what if I made you a show for no money? And they were like, oh, okay.
Wait.
And this is it. This is 12-ounce mouse. He made a show for no money.
Was it animated?
Yeah, it was.
Like they moved and stuff?
It wasn't animated great, but it was animated. But yeah, basically the guy literally, because the exchange was that it wouldn't cost Adult Swim anything. They'd only make money off of it. And the guy made money off of it too. It's not like he was losing money on it. But basically he could do whatever he wanted. It was great. It was great.
Whoa.
Anyway, so yeah, I will agree that if the story improves, I will definitely like the show more. But I will still complain about the animation if it doesn't get its shit together. What do you think, Matt?
Yes, I do think story can make up for bad or lazy anime. You gotta carry that because, like you just said, 12-ounce mouse is a thing. I don't know why, but I read this 3 times, and I thought at some point it asked, like, do you think there's a way they could animate better or something. So I had this whole thing about like, yeah, you can just bring in more animators, or you can just hunker down and animate like a little bit longer or something. But it doesn't say anything about that in this ask. I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
Well, I do
Jeez.
think that the animation can be improved, and Secret Person donates $11 and a
Oh
secret
dang.
code. Oh my god.
45 cents more than 10.05.
Oh my god. Y'all are up in
Wow.
the game.
Wait.
Anyway, so I do think that the animation can be improved. You know how they can improve it? And it won't cost them a cent. You know how they can improve it?
Uh.
Draw the characters on model.
Okay.
It won't cost you a cent, but the animation will get better. And you know why? It's not just because the characters will look better, but it's because the way things are right now, whenever you send your storyboards over to the key animators... Oh, wait, new thing. The church donated $12. Holy fuck.
Oh dang.
Anyway.
Wait.
So.
Oh wait. No.
What?
95 cents.
Whoa.
95 cents. Sorry, it was. I said 45 cents. I meant. Guys, I failed math like a lot. That's. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not good at counting or
Anyway.
subtracting. I forgot how to subtract in 7th grade. I'm not.
So the way things are right now, the key animators that they send the storyboards over basically have to relearn how to draw the characters constantly. Basically memorize every single storyboard artist's art style in order to animate their cuts, and that takes time. But if you keep the characters on model, then once the keyframers master drawing the characters, then they'll be able to draw them faster and better, and suddenly they'll be able to do more keyframes with less time. And oh my god, now whoa, fucking voice.
Oh jeez, what, $24?
Anyway, so, and then, oh my god, it's not costing me a thing, but the animation has gotten better. Wow, amazing. That's how you do it. That's how you make your animation better. That's how it's done.
Like, if you think of like a really recent example of this, it's like I think Murata, the guy who made iShield 21, recently started redrawing the entirety of Punch Man. And even though the style itself might be different, you could obviously tell that the guy is going off of a model.
Yeah.
It's obviously these certain characters. And even through that, the animators who have to then just draw Murata's depiction of one's original drawings are also staying on model. And that's how you get amazing scenes where, like, the guy, there was that one scene where Saitama's just like, okay. And that was drawn originally. Do you know what scene I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, when the guy's like, you've destroyed the armor containing my all too intense power. And then Saitama's just like, okay.
And that was drawn again in the redraw, and once again animated exactly the same way in the animation. Like, it's about staying on model, basically.
And the thing is that One Punch Man looks fantastic. Didn't cost any more than any other anime that's running at the time. It didn't cost any more. It's because the people working on it were so fucking good that they were like, screw it, we're gonna show off. We're gonna show these people how it's done. And that's how they did it.
Oh god, is that $30?
Jesus Christ! I mean, I'm glad I'm getting all this sick cash, but y'all could have bought like 5 copies of Cuphead at this point, which is a great game, highly recommended. This great comment. Local YouTuber makes $100+ after complaining about a cartoon in an amateur stream. More at 4.
More at 4. Oh, jeez.
Oh, if only it.
And oh wait, I feel like Redline is okay. So Isaac Steele, I feel like Redline is a bit of a different beast because that thing took like 9 or something years of production.
Well, it did.
But
it looks so good.
Like the whole goal was to like. Yeah, it took a long time. And, like, the whole goal was to each individual frame, like, like actually super super accurate to the original idea. So
dang.
I feel like the whole production of One Punch Man and Steven Universe can't really be compared exactly to how long Redline went for.
It's not exactly a one-to-one comparison in the first
Yeah,
place.
I mean,
But
it's
anyway,
comparable. Hmm.
Sleepy Nook donated $3. Thank you for donating something reasonable, Sleepy Nook. Thank you. Oh my god.
Thank you.
Anyway, but yeah, if you watch any cartoon, really, you'll notice that gradually the animation is getting better. Now, there are times when they give the budget a boost, like Amazing World of Gumball always looked good, but then Season 2 came along and it's like, holy shit! But for a lot of the time, they don't really raise or change the budget, or at least not by a lot, but the animation still improves greatly because the keyframers get so good at drawing the characters that they can make frames faster and more efficiently, and so the scenes have more frames, which means they're animated better, and wow, it looks so good, and it didn't cost me a cent. Wow.
I remember like the first time I kind of noticed this kind of thing happening was when I was a kid, and I was rewatching all of Metabots,
Mm-hmm.
and there were like one or two episodes where the quality kind of spiked.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looked completely different, but
Yay.
nothing else had changed. It was just that the animators had probably hired one other person or like a guest animator or something,
Meh.
or they had just improved to the point of just drawing all these angles and
Meh.
this coherency.
Or like look at
Missiles.
Gravity Falls Season 1. The animation starts out pretty good, but even though they didn't raise the budget at all throughout the season, by the time you get to the end of it, the animation looks so good. So much better than the first episode. Once again, the keyframers were better at drawing the characters. Steven Universe can't do this though, because they're... Oh my god! I'm like a villain for it. Oh yeah, also quick question. Is it possible to have tension with a series without an antagonist, and that doesn't involve misunderstandings?
Have you seen Nichicho?
yeah, you know what? I was about to say no, but you fucking got me, Matt. You fucking got me.
I forget if it was School Rumble or School Days, but I remember there was like just the random same characters.
It wasn't
and
School
like
Days, Matt.
No, I haven't seen School. It must be School Rumble then, because I haven't seen School. But there was this one entire arc, because I think School Rumble is slice of life, but there's an entire arc where it's like a school-wide BB gun competition, where they're just having a war, and there were like rivalries, and there was backstabbings, and the final confrontation was between this guy with like double pistols and shooting on top of the school roof, and yeah, you can absolutely just
Matt, don't watch School Days. Don't do it.
Okay. Don't watch it?
Don't watch School Days. Trust me.
Alright.
Anyway, so yeah, you don't need a regular mwahahaha villain, but episodes will still have like antagonists in them, like someone who generates conflict. Like for example, in SpongeBob is the most morally gray show to ever exist, and you know why? Because every single character has been the antagonist at some point. Like obviously Plankton's been the antagonist. Mr. Krabs has been the antagonist. SpongeBob has been every single character has been the antagonist at some point. It's all dependent on the situation.
There's even an episode where Gary the Snail is an antagonist.
Yes.
Like, just dagnab Gary the Snail.
Every
wanted his, like...
single character. It's more morally gray than fucking Berserk.
Oh. Jeez. Did someone else donate $60 too?
Yeah. I don't know
Dang.
what's going on, but I'm scared.
That's the church. They just kept donating. Oh.
Anyway, so sorry. So
you cut out a bunch.
Oh, that's fine. I was burping. I wasn't cutting out, I was burping. Anyway, so even though you don't need a regular antagonist per se, you do need characters to be the antagonist of the episode, and it doesn't have to spawn from a misunderstanding. It can maybe spawn from a disagreement. Like, maybe the characters saw a movie and one really likes it and one doesn't, and they spend the episode arguing about it. Maybe they're in a contest. Maybe they're having just a fun time race. I don't know, but there does need to be some kind of antagonist for the episode at the least. But even then, they don't need to be evil. Antagonist doesn't equal evil. It literally just means the person who opposes the main character.
That's like how all of Scooby-Doo was done. And, like, even in the Magic School Bus, like you just said, the antagonist doesn't even have to be, like, a character. It just has to be, like, an opposing force. They're fighting against, like, nature half the time.
Yeah, there's different kinds of conflicts. There's person versus nature, person versus society. So they can either be fighting against another person, they can be fighting against a tornado maybe, or some sort of natural disaster, or
made out of
maybe
sharks.
They're just like, I'm gonna fucking punch this tree. Or they're fighting against something that's wrong with society, a complex issue that can't be simplified by one singular person. So, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and man versus machine. That too.
Man versus machine.
Anyway, so yeah. So that's how you done it.
That's how we do it. Dang,
Anyway,
man.
we've been streaming for 2 whole hours. Hooray!
2 whole hours.
Wow! Okay, so I think I'm gonna take one more question and then we can call it a day. Alright?
Alright.
So, what y'all got? And it doesn't have to be super chat, just ask something. Dude, Matt.
What's up?
We gotta do Legacy of Kevin on Twitch. Or no, on
We gotta do
YouTube
Legacy.
streaming. Because there's so many more viewers, we can get actual quests that aren't just get, like, 100, like, cucumbers.
I think I know the reason why.
Am I gonna review Cuphead? I am thinking of doing a quick look on it, because let me tell you, Cuphead is so good.
I haven't played Cuphead yet.
It's
I heard it's super hard.
It's so good. I would love to make a video tearing down Ruby, but even a negative video would be promotion, and I'm not gonna do that.
What do I do? I'm a bum who sits at home and draws all day.
Oh, you're my
sometimes plays
friend!
video.
He's a nice friend. He's a good boy. He made a really good, funny video once.
Once. Man,
and
that's actually...
continue to do... No, that's right. You didn't just do that. There was also that one time when you did that really funny cover of that song where, like, you purposely screwed it up. That was great.
Oh, the Hotel California one?
Yeah, that's it.
I never posted.
Did I ever watch Transformers Prime? Yes. I followed the first few seasons, but then I kind of lost track. So yeah. What do I like about Steven Universe? I literally said it in the video. I think the colors are nice. The character designs, they used to be good. Nowadays, it's pretty hit and miss. But, the character designs are most part good. The colors are really nice. The music is very good. And sometimes it does subvert tropes that I can't stand, and I like that. So that's good. If Ruby doesn't deserve attention, then why make videos on troll hunters? Because as much as I don't like DreamWorks, they're not as horrible and reprehensible as Rooster Teeth is. So I don't really care if Troll Hunter succeeds, but I do not like that Ruby is successful. There's the difference. Like, Ruby, I fucking hate. I hate Rooster Teeth. They need to die. They're the worst. But Troll Hunters, I personally don't like it, but I do not care if other people like it, and I do not care how successful it is. Anyway, what's just worse, Troll Hunters or Ruby? Ruby. Rooster Teeth, you know, unfortunately, I literally cannot say, because the fact of the matter is that I have some connections to the Texas film industry, And word gets around in the Texas film industry about shitty things that certain studios do. Unfortunately, even though I've asked people who have told me about what they've been through to testify, you know, snitches get stitches, and with the Texas film industry basically going down the fucking pooper now that the tax benefits are gone, it would be really bad for anyone to do anything to mess with their reputation. So, I hate Rooster Teeth, and it's for a very personal reason, but I can't say it because I can't prove it. And I don't want to start shit without proof. So...
Was that possibly during the production of Laser Team or something?
It was.
Because they had to have shot.
Yes, it was. I mean, there was some stuff before that too, but a lot of it does have to do with Laser Team. I haven't seen Neo Yokio yet. I really want to.
Good, Scott. I watched like 3 episodes of Neo Yokio night.
I don't just hate Ruby because it's Rooster Teeth. Even before I developed my passionate hatred for Rooster Teeth, I still thought Ruby was really bad. Because the character writing is awful. The character design has everyone with the same body type except for fucking boob size. Even though it's CGI and you can do literally anything with your character models. The mocap animation is really jarring and distracting. The story writing is non-existent, and the voice acting is terrible. The action scenes are great, but that was the only thing that show had going for it.
I found that the action scenes kind of, like...
Oh,
there was a visible tonal change in the action scenes after, like...
Oh, after Monty Oum
after
died?
Monty.
Yeah, and another thing, I think it's really disrespectful to keep the show going after Monty Oum died, because it was his goddamn show. And if he can't run it, then no one should. You know? Like,
I heard talk that... Oh, keep going.
Like, there are times when it's fine. Like, Ed's World, I get it. Tom worked closely with Ed. He was his bestest friend. He wrote on a bunch of episodes, and he even said that Ed told him to keep the show going. That's fine. But Ruby, I don't think Monty Oum said anything. I never heard anything like that. It seems like they're just continuing it because they're making a shit ton of money on it. Like, that's all they seem to be doing. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Matt?
Oh, I was just asking, like, I heard a rumor that apparently Monty wanted it to continue going, but that was just a rumor, and I'm not too sure exactly where those sources come from.
That's just a rumor. There's not, literally Tom himself said that Ed wanted that, and they even have Ed's friends and other crewmates were conferring, like, yeah, Ed always said if something happened to him, they want to keep the show going, stuff like that. But I never heard anything like that from Monty Oum. Maybe because it was his fucking show. It wasn't just a fun thing he was doing with his friends like Ed's World. It was his baby. Do you have any comics you are reading, either digital or physical? I'm reading a shit ton of webcomics. Oh my god, you have no idea. I'm also working through the old Sonic comics because they're really funny. And,
good, Scott. I'm looking at your pages right now. This is...
Yeah. I followed some of these comics I don't even like Magical How. I think this webcomic is shit. I literally keep up with it just because every time a new page comes out, I click on it like, hey, do I still hate this? Yep, I still hate it. And then I keep up with it.
I have an entire, section in my bookmarks for Pokemon Nuzlocke comics.
Oh, you do? That's great.
Yeah, and I stopped keeping up with them because the original posters stopped playing their Nuzlocke, and it's just frozen in time at that point. So you have these really fun stories about just how this Nuzlocke went and the ups and downs of it, but then at a crucial point, it just stops. So I have them just permanently in my bookmarks bar, but I can never go back and finish them because they're just not finished. It's terrible.
What do you think of ER's video on Steven Universe? A lot of people have mentioned that, but I haven't watched it because it's called Steven Rapeyverse, and I'm not watching a video with a rape joke in the title. I know everyone says to not judge a book by its cover, but if you're at a bookstore and you pick up a book to look at it, and the cover has a rape joke on it, you're not going to be like, oh, well, I don't know, I should see what it has to say. You're going to put that book down and you're going to speed walk away as briskly as you can to make so in hopes that no one saw you holding that rape book. Like, I don't care if it's the best video ever made. I'm not watching a video with a fucking rape joke in the title. No, thank you.
Who is ER? Is that an acronym or is that like a name?
It's a YouTuber. He does reviews. I've heard he's all right, but I don't really. I've heard he has a super edgy sense of humor. Don't take my word for it because I've never watched it or any of his videos, but I've heard he has a super edgy sense of humor, and that's not really my deal. Will you finish reading the Powerpuff Girls to Jinshi? I scanned later pages, but to be honest, it's not as ridiculous as it started. And the art does actually reach a point where it's pretty alright, even though the color scheme is fucking gross. So, if I made a sequel video, it really wouldn't be as funny as the first one, but I do have a video in the works of me and someone else reading a very silly fan crossover comic, and it has someone you might know in it, and it's not Malin Tuner, by the way, since you'll probably immediately thought it was him since he's in a bunch of my videos, but no, it's great. Y'all love it, trust me. Junebug donated $20. Thank you. Rick and Morty Season 3. What did you think? I haven't seen the full season. I watched like 1 or 2 episodes, and I didn't really like them. So, I'm not feeling motivated to watch the rest, honestly. Have you ever watched Voltron? I loved the first season. The second season was alright, but the third season was garbage trash. How would you react to an action-based cartoon? I would probably like it, but that's not guaranteed. Have you seen the Cartoon Network 25th bumper? Yes, it made me want to animate characters dancing, but then I was like, oh yeah, animating is hard. Anyway, so it's really nice, and they got some web animators that I really like to work on it too, like Paul Tervord. It was good. Do you watch Archer? No. Did you like Rick and Morty Season 3? I haven't seen it all. Have you ever watched All Hail King Julian? No. Thoughts on Ichigo?
Is that the spin-off of the Madagascar movies?
Yeah. Thoughts on Nichijou? It's literally one of my favorite animes of all time. Like, my favorite anime is Baccano, but right next to it is Nichijou. I love Nichijou so much. Robo Buddies, thoughts on the Captain Underpants movie? I really wanted to see it, but I left for a trip overseas right when it came out, and I never got to see it, and I want to see it so bad. Oh my god. Are you completely caught up in the JoJo's? Not even close. What is the closest show you can compare to Steven Universe, whether it's better or worse? God, I don't know. Opinion on Mob Psycho 100? Love it. Can't wait for Season 2. Will you be reviewing Voltron Season 3? I'm waiting for Season 4 to come out, because I think what happened is they split the season in half, and then I can and then I can talk about it as a whole. Boku no Hero Academia. Really like it, but I'm not caught up. Thoughts on Minions? Hate 'em. Thoughts on Durarara? Never watched it, but the Baccano intro's better. Regular show. It's alright. Gets kind of boring. Have you seen Star Versus? I don't really like it, but it's not terrible. Worst cartoon other than Ruby? I don't think Ruby is the worst cartoon, as much as I hate it. But, God. I don't even know, man. I've seen so much shit. Have you seen Neon Genesis Evangelion? No, but I saw the first reboot movie and I thought it was pretty good. Thoughts on Metalocalypse? Watched the first episode, liked it, haven't gotten to see the rest. Thoughts on Slicktera? Really like it. It's one of the few shows that I'm actually keeping up with. Have you seen Wakfu? I saw Season 1, but I haven't seen Season 2. I would recommend you watch. Dude, I'm working on Battle Tendency. I'm working my way through it. I'm just not worked up. Please name one thing worse than Ruby just to give us a baseline. Alpha and Omega. That's worse than me. That's worse.
Oh, that's a throwback. Alpha and Omega. Dang.
Ruby Gloom? No, I don't hate Ruby Gloom. I think it's kind of boring, but I really like the designs. Were cartoons truly better back then? No.
No.
Favorite Steven Universe song is Here Comes a Thought. Have you ever heard
Oh,
of
that's also
Renaissance?
mine.
It stars Daniel Craig. I have not. Alpha and Omega next video. It's never gonna happen. Stop asking me. Thoughts on home movies. Really want to watch it, but I haven't gotten to yet. Squidbillies, not so much. Would you agree that removing that abominable mole ship Pronto would improve the quality of... I don't
Pronto.
actually... Oh, Pronto's like the comic relief character in Slugterra. I don't actually hate him. I think he has his moments. I do think that it would definitely improve from toning him down a bit, but I don't actually hate him. I think he's fine, you know? Like, I don't love him.
Boy.
He's not my favorite. Trixie's my favorite. Well, actually, no, Cord's my favorite. But I keep flip-flopping between those two. But I think he's a good character. What do you think of BoJack Horseman? Love it. One of my favorite shows ever. Does everyone know where she's answering these questions? Literally
on stream right now.
Rick and Morty sucks, right? It's not terrible, but it's not as good as everyone says it is. Favorite other cartoon reviewer, least favorite other cartoon reviewer. Sorry, this question's a bit too drama-y. I'm curious. I do not care. My favorite cartoon reviewer is Critical Hit. Y'all should check them out. They mostly talk about Disney movies, and they don't come out with videos very often, but their videos are so good. So good. It's mwah. It's honestly my number one inspiration is Critical Hit. They're so good. So good. Oh. And my least favorite cartoon reviewer is Mr. Enner. I think he is garbage. Can I hug you? Fuck no. Have you ever seen any Netflix? I saw 30 minutes of the live action movie and I thought it was weird, but I'm pretty sure the animated show is better. Have you seen Watchmen Tales of the Black Freighter? No. Thoughts on Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? It's okay. I love stuff with practical props, so I do have kind of a soft spot for it, but it's Nostalgia Critic, I do have a soft spot for his older videos, but I don't think he's that great, but he's not, like, bad. Critical Hit or Critical Hit? The Critical Hit, one word. What is your least favorite animated Scooby-Doo movie? God, that's a pretty broad question. I think it's Scooby-Doo.
Least favorite might be hard.
Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase is definitely one of my least favorite. Opinion on I Hate Everything. Love him. One of my favorite YouTubers. Would you rather go to Slugterra or join the Voltron crew? Slugterra seems more appealing to me because the slugs are cute and there isn't the threat of the vast emptiness of space. What do you think of Pie Guy Rules and Phantom Strider? Love Pie Guy Rules, don't really like Phantom Strider. Thoughts on Ralph the Movie Maker? Love him. He's great. Ever heard of Rebel Taxi? Yes. What are your thoughts on Sonic Underground? It's hilarious. Opinions on YMS? Love it. Favorite cartoon ship? The flying boat from Legend Quest. You know the one. I forget what they called it, but it's a boat, but it also flies. It's cool. What type of humor is the easiest, hardest to make you laugh? Toilet humor, meta humor, etc. It really depends on the situation. Like humor that definitely doesn't make me laugh is the super edgy, oh haha, look at that minority kind of humor. Like, I hate that. But the humor that makes me laugh the easiest is, honestly, like, really weird humor. Like, when there's a bunch of weird shit going on. Like, fucking, like, Dipper plays video games is still, like, the funniest shit to me. I love it. My favorite visual novel, I guess it would have to be Dream Daddy, since it's the only one I've ever played. Thoughts on Generator Rex? Watched it when it was coming out, but I'm not caught up. Thoughts on Leica movies? Very good, except for Box Trolls. Favorite Boku no Hero character? Froppy, obviously. Do you read Berserk? Yes, and I love it. Can you review Scary Godmother? I've been thinking about it, but I haven't yet. Thoughts on Motor City? Love it. What is your all-time favorite video game?
So fast.
I don't know. I'm in the zone, man. I can't stop.
In the zone.
My all-time favorite video game is constantly fluctuating because I'm constantly playing new video games, but I'm very good at Tetris. I do revisit Skyrim every once in a while, even though it's not the best. And, I don't know, I really like Psychonauts, I guess.
Psychonauts was good. Attack the Block was a good movie.
Oh yeah, that movie was great. Motor City versus Megas XLR, Motor City. Thoughts on Panty and Stocking? Love it. What do you think of Little Witch Academia? It's very cute. Favorite character in Steven Universe? Peridot. If you could revive a cartoon, which would you bring back? Motor City. Thoughts on Mickey Mouse? He's okay. Owes me $20, but whatever. Thoughts on Code Lyoko? Haven't watched it in years. Troll Hunters or Ruby? Troll Hunters. Would you ever play Save the Light when it comes out? Yes, I want it so bad. I want it so bad!
Oh, that's the Steven game, right?
Yes. Will you ever do videos on anime? Yeah. Maybe. Thoughts on Baby Driver? Want to see it? Haven't yet. Where can someone watch Motor City? I want to see it. It's on iTunes, or you could use less than legal means. What do you think of Cool Cat? I think he's fantastic. He's the best. He's gonna save the kids. Thoughts on Sugalite? I think she's alright. Thoughts on BoJack Horseman Season 4? Great. I loved it. 2D versus 3D? 2D. Do you think there's any good qualities to the Powerpuff Girls doujinshi? The artwork does improve. Like, as much as I think Bleed Man's a piece of shit, at the very least, he's a piece of shit who's willing to improve his artwork because he has gotten so much better. But I still think he's a piece of shit. Thoughts on JoJo? Great. Frozen. Hate it. Favorite plot twist? The one in BoJack Season 4. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's so good. Thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Didn't really like it. Would you rather have a good action cartoon on TV now or another good 2D Disney movie in theaters? I'd rather have a good action cartoon now. Thoughts on Nostalgia Critic or Black Nerd? I definitely prefer the Black Nerd. What do you think of having a guest band on a stream like this? That's maybe someday. Boondocks. Really want to watch it. Why is Bleed Man a piece of shit? Because he's a pedophile. Do you deserve a big Toblerone? I certainly hope so. Favorite Psychonauts level? Man. I really like the one where you're a kaiju. That one's great. But I'm also pretty fond of the Asylum's great. And, man, I love Psychonauts so much. 2D versus Murdoch. Dude, 2D must be protected. Murdoch's a gross pickle man.
Alright, 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. Thoughts on Andrew Dobson? Who cares? Thoughts on Lindsay Ellis? Love her. Dumbest piece of media I love? It's Turbo. Thoughts on Tord being a villain in the end? I thought it was super forced and dumb. Thoughts on Samurai Jack last season, especially the ending? It was alright, but it really lost its stride. Have you seen Pacific Rim? Yes, it's amazing. I love it so much. Best piece of music animated in anime. Oh, best piece of cartoon music in my opinion. I don't know. I've heard a lot. Worst movie ever? Ninja Turtles 3. Who would win in a fight to the death? Saitama. Obviously, that's not even a question. Camp never watched it. Are you gonna delete the stream after it's over? No, I'm gonna put it up. If you could have...
I'm back.
Alright. Is Scott Pilgrim good? The movie's great. Haven't read the comics. Thoughts
Comics
on
are
Lego's
okay.
Elves on Netflix. It's very cringy. Worst shipping. It's, I would say, like with pigeon mail, it's very unreliable. The worst shipping method. Thoughts on Breath of the Wild art style. Very pretty. Have you seen Transformers Rescue Bots? Yes, I love it. It's the best. So good. Undertale, like it. Marvel or DC? It depends. Like, if we're talking, like, live-action movies, then Marvel, but if we're talking, like, TV shows, then DC. Thoughts on Miraculous Ladybug? I don't really care for it. I don't hate it, but eh. Best intro for a cartoon currently airing. Netflix shows count too.
Intro.
That's a tough one. What do you think?
I don't actually know, because I haven't watched a lot of currently airing cartoons. It's been quite a while.
That's a tough one.
Let me think.
I don't know. I
They
have
put
to
up a
get back
list.
to you on that. Thoughts on Alex and Bum? Don't really care. Saitama listen, Saitama will always win every single time. Doesn't matter. It'll always be
that's
Saitama.
it. That's just it, yo.
Thoughts on Ava's Demon? It's a very pretty comic, but I paid for my book in the second Kickstarter and I still haven't gotten it. God damn it! Do you watch American Horror Story? I tried, but I didn't really get into it. Thoughts on Loud House? It's very saccharine, but very well made. So it's not my taste, but it's a good show. Do you ever watch Gregory Horror Show? No. No, I've gone through them all. I'm gonna end the stream in like 10 minutes, so like 8:30's when we're gonna end this shit. So hit me with them questions. Thoughts on Robo Buddies? Total loser. Don't know why she has all of these fans. Listen, Saitama would always win. That's just how it is. I do prefer Mob Psycho over One Punch Man. I haven't seen Stranger Things yet. My favorite SpongeBob episode is Band Geeks. I know it's generic, but I like it.
It's a good episode.
Saitama would always win. It's always Saitama. Yes, I am very excited for Halloween. My favorite cartoon special is probably Underfist. It's so good.
Underfist was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's just chock filled with references.
Saitama always wins. Yes, even against Saitama.
Man.
My favorite Steven Universe episode is Mindful Education. I'm saying the Loud House is saccharine. That just means that it's really, really sweet and cute. Just a little too much for my bit.
I feel like it moves really fast.
That too.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Skullgirls? Very fun. I love the animation.
Skullgirls.
Favorite Space Jam moment? When fucking Bill Murray walks in. That's great.
Oh,
so
he even does the da da da.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, hey guys, I'm Bill Murray. What the fuck do you want? Saitama always wins. No, I'm not straight, and I'm offended that you would ask. That's the meanest assumption anyone's ever made about me, you know? iCarly is, it's alright. It's very hit or miss. Some episodes are really funny, but some are super dumb.
Best part of iCarly is Jerry Springer. I think that's his name.
My favorite piece of Red Letter Media content is whenever Rich Evans does a prank call. That's great.
What?
Someone asked what my favorite Red Letter Media moment is, and it's anytime that Rich Evans prank calls.
Alright, you cut out for a moment. I just heard prank calls, great. And I'm like, prank calls? Great. What?
I'm too old for trick-or-treating. I'm probably just gonna do a game night or something.
Yay. Game nights are fun.
Let's see. Pineapple pizza? I like it.
Jerry Trainer's his name.
I've never eaten a bubble.
Oh, are we talking about actual bubbles?
Yeah.
They just taste like soap.
Yeah.
Not even a garnish can say.
I'm never gonna do a face reveal. It's not gonna happen.
Cranial toxicity? You've been saying stuff like donating kidneys and receiving lungs.
You think it'll happen on the Pizza Party podcast? It'll happen maybe someday? I don't know. It's not really up to me.
Cranial toxicity.
It'd be cool if it happened, but I have exactly zero control over whether or not that'll happen.
Keep all of your organs.
Yes.
Cool.
Keep your organs, please. Neo Yokia,
Yes.
I really want to watch it. I've already done a hand reveal, so you don't even gotta worry about that. The worst game I've ever played? Honestly, Costume Quest. Like, it's not the worst technically, but it's really boring and dull and bleh.
Ah.
Total disappointment. The game sucks.
Mm.
Listen, Saitama always wins. I message with Phoenix Pen every now and again, but I don't think she'd be comfortable if I talked about what was going on with her. So, yeah, she's fine if y'all are wondering, but that's all I'm gonna say. Thoughts on CalArts? I don't know. I'm thinking of applying there, but you don't have to be on CalArts to be great.
Saitama versus depression. Oh.
Saitama always wins. I have a Discord, Creek Kitty. It's in the ding dang description. I love Arthur Christmas. I think it's extremely underrated. It's a very, very quality Christmas film. I'm even thinking of talking about it this year, because, oh my god, so good. My favorite Ghibli film is Kiki's Delivery Service. I don't think it's the best they've made, but it's just my personal favorite. No, see that's you can't have anything against my optimism because I don't have any.
Oh.
My webcomic's technically out, like there's a few pages, but the full first issue isn't out, and I'm gonna make a legit announcement when I dump out the first issue, but it's not yet. I love Cooley Cooley.
Buddy Thunderstruck is actually pretty good. I've watched a couple episodes.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
It's also like stop motion. It's pretty good.
Ah.
Yeah. It's about a trucking. It's a race. It's a truck racing. It's about a truck racer in his hometown, and they just get into hijinks. Yeah, it's not bad. I like it. It's got character.
Thoughts on Secret of Kells? Very pretty movie. Thoughts on the Bayformers movies? I like the first one, but all of the others are poop.
Toxicity. If you want more Matt-related content, you could follow me on SoundCloud. No, I'm joking. I have a channel, pretty small one. I don't upload regularly, just when I want to make something. It's I'll type it in, I guess.
What villain would I create to replace Freak Show from Danny Phantom? I don't know, the piece of shit I took a couple hours ago could replace him pretty well. Thoughts on Gorillaz? Pretty good band. Their latest album's not their best, but I still like it. YouTube is a garbage site, so that's my thoughts on it. What do you think of Overwatch? It's a very fun game. Favorite JoJo is Joseph, obviously. Castlevania on Netflix was pretty good. I do wish it had an actual story in the first 4 episodes, though. But
please do not donate your organs, cranial toxicity.
Worst series finale? God, I've seen a lot of really bad ones. What do you think, Matt? What's the worst?
It's whenever they try wrapping things up to an obviously like longer story. Like I still think Danny Phantom's ending was pretty bad. Just
dude, I didn't even think of that. Oh my god.
Because like it's literally like, oh look, nothing changed.
Everything's good now, but
nothing changed at all.
So. Jeez. I'd say I hate it when a show ends in a way that implies that more is gonna... Because, like, if you have seasons greenlit in advance, then that's one thing, then go ahead. But if you're a show and you don't think you're gonna have another season, then finish the story. You can leave things open so things can continue. It's very possible. But at least give us a complete story for the season that we have. Why do you always have to do this shows? Shows don't. You don't have to end your show on a cliffhanger. You can end things conclusively.
Oh. Like, a, a really big thing I see with stuff like that is when it's a hanger. Like, I forgot what anime this was, but there's a lot of animes where I've watched them, and in the end, it's just like teasing some amazing things that are going to happen later, and then you realize they don't make another season. They purposely leave it a cliffhanger, so you go and read the light novels instead, because the anime itself was a commercial for the light novels, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? What? I mean, this is okay if you like speak Japanese and can read the whole thing, but like, oh well, I guess I just can't figure out what the rest of the story is anymore.
Yeah. Alright, so it's 8:30, so I will take one more question. Let's see here.
I do read the manga. I'm talking about specifically ones that haven't been turned into manga. Like, just they're still light novels that are untranslated, that kind of thing. I'm more of a manga reader anyway. What's the...
It's gotta be a good one, but I can't take forever.
What's
My phone's ringing.
Ah.
It's Banana.
We're now gonna do a section called...
Hold on for a sec, I gotta answer. Hey, Nana.
Robo answers the phone. Alright. Let's see. What is the Golden Girls? Is that like a sitcom or something? Tone, Twilight, metal band. What would you call it? Probably the Lugnut. Seems metal enough. I'll just take over for a moment. First show I'll be disappointed by. I don't think I've ever actually been disappointed by a show. Not sure. I kind of just keep watching and I'm like, alright, well that's it. Yes, I want to buy. You can ask a question. What would you like? Wow. Bea Arthur and Betty White, huh?
I'm sorry, what's up? Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, me?
Oh, alright. Well, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now, so I can't really talk.
Hello, I want to buy. How are you doing? Thoughts on end the stream?
Love you.
Not up to me, my friend.
Bye.
Worst cartoon villain. What's my channel again? Wait, is that for me or is that... Because you're on the channel. When is my face reveal? You probably see it if you watch a very specific video that I posted with. I don't look that phenomenal. Golden Girls is mid-80s, 90s. Okay, I'm learning about Golden Girls.
I'll deal with that later.
Fairy.
Okay, I'm back.
Thoughts on furries?
Last question.
Thoughts on cheese?
Tell my best joke? Okay.
I'm ready. We're all ready.
Okay. Shit, I had a really good one, but I forgot. Okay. Okay, guys, quiet down. You're about to hear the greatest joke you ever did hear. Are you ready? This is what we're ending the stream with. It's the best joke.
Here we go.
It's the best joke ever.
Here we go.
Okay, so there's two guys, and they're at a bar, and they're on like the 20th floor, on their building. And so one guy tells the other, "Hey, so you know, there's like this crazy wind thing. If you go out the window, you'll whoop back up." And the other guy's like, "No, you don't. That's bullshit." And the guy's like, "All right, I'll prove it to you." So he goes out the window, but he comes right back up. And the other guy's like, "Whoa!" And the first guy's like, "Yeah, give it a try." And so the other guy climbs out the window, and he falls to his death. And the bartender says, "You're a mean drunk Superman."
Okay.
Ah,
You're a mean drunk Superman.
good joke. It's a good joke.
That's a good joke. That's a good joke.
Yeah, it's good. I'm good. We're all good. Good.
Da-da-ba.
Okay.
I actually was not expecting that. Like, what?
Oh wait, that's right. I can go back to this. Whoop.
Yes.
Anyway.
You're on the same slide for a while.
Thanks, secret person. Anyway, so that was it for the stream. I'm glad we had this fun time together, me and you, and all of you. And I hope you all have a fantastic and beautiful day. And I'm definitely gonna start hosting gaming streams here because I'm getting more people than I ever thought that I would. So yeah, that's another thing you can look forward to. Anyway, bye.
See you later.
Let's see, there it is.